Bros program. You can check them out here on Ironic Radio Network, 8-Bit Bros. That's number 8. Then bit. Then bros. One word. I strongly encourage you to stay tuned for that. And if you want, they also have a Facebook page and a much better live show. Anyway, 8-Bit Bros, 8 p.m., Ironic Radio Network.
It's 8 o'clock, and you know what that means.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the 8-Bit Bros. It is the early edition. That be Tuesday for all those that care. With that being said, this is not a kid-friendly show. Adult language, adult content. Do the right thing, people. Put your kids in the closet.
Welcome back to another fun-filled fact debacle. Oh, my levels are fucked up. That we like to call the 8-Bit Bro Show. Yep, Cinebox gets a square.
What up, people?
That's Ren, you know who that is. Over to the left, that's me. I'm at the boardwalk or something. Ren's still at the beach. Me, over here, web boy. To the right, in his fucking bunk bed bunker, 846 miles south. I think we lost a mile there, but I'm not sure. The one and only Thumping Loud.
What up?
What up, gentlemen? Day 57. Day 57.
Which means he was correct last week.
Yeah. I use this website all the time. It's called Time and Dates. And it calculates days between two dates. If you don't know how many... Oh, here's some interesting tidbits for you. 57 days we've been in lockdown. That's 4,924,800 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah. 1,368 hours. 8 weeks in one day. Or 15.5% of the fucking year.
You know what I really miss about doing our show? Like, we've done our show every week, but you know what I miss about our shows? Our Tuesday shows especially. Our intro. The way we would come into a show. How was your weekend? What did you do on your weekend? We know. We know it's the same shit we're doing during the week.
Right.
It's really, like, we haven't asked each other a fucking thing about our weekends because we know nothing's happening. You're not doing shit. What'd you do? Sit at home, have some Bloody Marys? Huh?
Yep.
Drink a little bit of beer? Huh?
Yep.
Maybe play a little bit of Rock Band? Huh? I mean, it's that. I miss that. I miss that of the society aspect of where things were pre-COVID, and just in our shows alone, on the ability for us to go, so, how was your weekend? What'd you do on your weekend?
Yeah. See, what we should have been doing is playing What Did You Learn all along? Especially now. Well, see, for you, it's a little different because you're I guess for you guys, it is different because your babes still have no choice but to leave the house and go to work.
Yeah, both of our babes.
Right. Whereas you used to don't have to do that. And I'm in a situation where she's here and I have learned a lot of things. You want to know a pet peeve of mine that I've just realized after 57 days of lockdown? Toothpaste on the fucking mirror.
Oh, yeah?
Drives me absolutely insane. Never did before. Does now. Don't know why. The other thing that bothers the shit out of me is, and neither one of you, I'm have this issue either. I go to get in the shower and go to wash my hair, and I grab the bottle of shampoo, and there's shampoo all over it.
Nope. Actually, me and Ren both date women outside of our ethnicity. So
Oh, yeah.
so no, we don't share body products or hair products or any of that stuff because our similarities are lessened in only maybe that atmosphere.
True.
You know, my woman being African American or black, according to however you want to call it or come from, and
Right.
Ren, your woman is of Latin descent, correct? So,
No,
You are correct, sir.
Mexican.
so
She's-
so and it's two very different experiences. Like our ends are separated completely when it comes to a bathroom.
Hey, what is she? What did I used to say she was? I don't remember. When I would get under her skin, Ren. What did I call
Called her. You called her Mexican.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Isn't she a Mexican? Or is she Colombian?
Oh,
Same shit.
oh.
Puerto Rican. Same shit. What the fuck is she? I don't even remember.
She's Puerto Rican and Panamanian and
Ooh,
So she's a Mexican. Okay.
Panamanian, huh? That's a real small area to have like a family lineage through. Like Panama.
not a very big place.
No, Panama. No, it's not. That's why I'm
She's
like,
also half Irish, Webb.
I'm like, for you to have met somebody who has Panamanian
Mick.
background, that's just like, like needle in the haystack type shit. Like, there's not a lot of people you see in America that are Panamanian in descent. I'm sure.
4.1 million people live in that country.
Uh-huh.
Believe it or not.
So, Webb, if you want to go to the beach, you can go to Seabright is open.
But Seabright's open, yes. So is Seagirt.
Long Branch is open.
Yes, I ain't going down there.
Monmouth Beach is open.
Yeah, I'm not going there either.
Manasquan is open.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Sandy Hook is very. I read an article that you can go out there, you just can't swim.
Oh,
You
man.
can go on the beach and you can do whatever. There's limited
You can
facilities.
go on the beach, but I'm here. You can't pull up a chair and sunbathe.
What is the swim aspect that you think would
Nope.
limit that? Like, I understand maybe the
guards.
sunbathing part.
No lifeguards.
Yeah, but but you can go to Sandy Hook. I've gone to Sandy Hook for years, warm days in March, and gone in the water. It's swim
Right.
at your own risk at that point.
Exactly. But now with all of this, they can't have lifeguards on the beach, so the water's closed. Normally, at this time of the year, you can go to the beach and swim in the water.
Yeah, but there's no lifeguards.
Right.
Lifeguards at Sandy Hook are between Memorial Day and Labor Day.
That's because it's a federal
Well,
park.
I'm telling you right
up-
now, from a
Right.
different perspective,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not going in water at any beach on any coastline anytime soon.
Why?
I have
It's got
I
good
have
anti-bugs in
zero
it.
I have zero interest because for 2 months we let the sharks believe we were gone.
You've
And
been
have
watching
you-
Shark Week, haven't you?
No. Have you seen how many shark attacks there have literally been since surfers have started to try and hit the fucking water?
No.
It's been kind of crazy. Just in this past week, I think there were like 3 deaths.
Let's see. During COVID, are they breaking it down that way? How many shark attacks? In spite of the
But there was a
No.
surfer that was just killed somewhere, I think California.
go California. So Santa Cruz.
Well, I imagine there's probably going to be some bull shark issues in Florida, and
Oh yeah.
we
bullshit.
we know there y'all got a couple serious sharks up your way too, and
Oh, we've got what's her name? Kate. Is that the
yeah, y'all got
that's
a
okay.
great white that's been hanging out up there by y'all
Yeah. She likes to be around.
up in the Cape area.
Yep.
But
Yeah, we've-
I mean, when you look at this though, that's what I'm talking about. Mother Nature, regardless of how we want to say this took place, Mother Nature facilitated the ability for this to happen.
Yeah.
Because even if it was a leak that got to a bat or from a bat that got to a dog that got to a whatever, even if it was a leak, it was still Mother Nature facilitating the ability for this thing to be able to cross contaminate and go uber fucking viral. So Mother Nature's big, what the fuck are y'all doing? We all took a break and was like, oh yeah, what the fuck are we doing? While the rest of Mother Nature was like, I ain't seen those bipedal things around for a minute. And maybe for the first couple weeks, they stayed away from coastlines that they normally weren't attracted to. Because there was a lot of human interference where the beaches were patrolled, the waters were patrolled, and this hasn't been happening now for 2 months.
Why am I getting
So you've got animals that literally may have convinced themselves that we left.
Yeah, that's
Like,
good
to a
point.
certain degree, people in the water has not been a thing. So human bodies in the ocean ain't been there. Now one shows up on a fucking surfboard, you really looking like a seal now.
Right?
Like, you might have mistakenly looked like a seal before, but the only fucking thing for 2 months that's been in the goddamn water has been a seal. So,
Maybe some little baby fishies, but yes, you are correct.
yeah, so it's a weird situation, like, because now we, as humans, after this short break, because we all saw Mother Nature come back in all of these areas, in all the glory that we didn't know was really possible. We all watched, like, maybe 5-10 years ago, watched a show called Life After People. And now we're looking at what that might actually have looked like. How fast did the waters in Venice clear up? How fast did fish return to those rivers? How fast did these places recover that we didn't even think it was possible for them to recover that quick? Our projected timelines, based on just the science that went into making Life After People, that timeline looked a whole lot fucking different. And nature proved that, no, motherfuckers, if humans ain't there, it's ours. And claimed it all back. Like, got rid of smog in places that didn't have factories running anymore. Got rid of fucking
The
everything.
tri-state area here. There was a map that went out that was like, here is the New York tri-state area pre-coronavirus. And then, I mean, I saw Marie showed me this, had to be 3 weeks ago, and she's like, check this out, look at this map. And it was like, no pun intended, 50 shades later.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Tell me our planet's not fucking amazing. I'm less worried about us dealing with something that's going to happen with climate change.
Look at that whole fucking huge ozone hole closed up.
I'm
Since this started. That's closed up.
less worried about the climate change issue as far as our impact on it, and more on the pretense of, like, all right, so we know that maybe we're adding a little bit of acceleration to something that's going to naturally happen anyway. So maybe we should taper back some things and do something, a little bit of responsibility to kind of slow that progress down again, so that we don't have to flash in and out of it a whole lot faster than maybe we're ready for. But I
Right.
think that's what we need to do, is prepare ourselves for the other side of this thing. What's also giving me a little bit of the creed to try and think about this problem is the fact that I disagree heavily with this theory of the show Snowpiercer.
I don't think I'm familiar with that.
It's a train that travels around the planet continuously with all the life that's left on Earth,
Okay.
because the planet is literally frozen outside to, like,
That's-
so many degrees below
Second
zero.
season of that is dropping the end of this month.
Okay, but the premise for me, I'm against it, because one, y'all know I travel by rail quite frequently, and there is a tremendous maintenance that goes into place with keeping railroad tracks usable. If humans can't get off this fucking train Who the hell's fucking maintaining the goddamn track?
Here's your information. I have it live.
Oh, the shark thing?
I have it. Excuse me. I don't want to say live. As of May 9th.
Okay. So
Okay, they
this is
have-
the shark thing though, right?
Yes, this
Okay.
is the shark thing. This is the 2020 worldwide count. It's an interactive map that shows you each and
You
every.
got here just in time,
Oh my
Jay.
God, more bogus data. Please stop.
As of May 9th, there have been 17 shark attack bites. 17 people injured. 3 of those were considered provoked attacks. I'm gonna stick them with a stick, bro.
We're talking about humans, Mother Nature, and the experience that COVID has taught us versus the show Life After People, and my disdain for this bullshit ass fucking show Snowpiercer.
So there were 4 reported attacks in the United States.
That's
as
where
of
we're
May
at.
9th.
Just so you're caught up,
okay.
Jay.
As of May 9th, one of them fatal, which we now know one was added to that. One occurred in Florida, Hawaii, and 2 in California. Thump, you have every reason to say that you wouldn't go in the ocean. I get it.
Well, it's just I'm looking over nature as a whole and how all of these areas revitalized, and I'm going, there are places we haven't been. Maybe we don't go back naked and fucking joyous.
Naked and afraid. On average, there are 16 shark attacks in the United States every year. And usually one is a fatality every 1 or 2 years. That's the law of averages in the United States. But, and this is where I say you have every right to feel the way you feel, and I have no argument against it. According to the ISAF, the United States in which the most attacks have occurred, in the U.S., states in which the most attacks have occurred are Florida, Hawaii, California, Texas, and the Carolinas.
Yeah, see? Hits right there in my backyard too. Fuck
Although attacks
this.
have happened in every coastal state, those are the ones with the reported most amount of attacks.
You have the weirdest format to your video right now, Jay, just so you know.
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
You're tight in on your shoulders. It's almost like you're in a square.
Well, that's weird.
That's what it looks like on my end. I don't know if anybody else is seeing it that way, but
In case you want to bookmark that, there's your tracing
no,
sharks.
actually, it's fine to the stream. I guess I'm just getting that over Skype. It's weird.
Yeah, I only put it in Skype because
No,
Oh.
I'm seeing J7 oddly in Skype, but normal on the stream. So I don't know. Like I'm capping an NDI that is more camera than I can see on Skype.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Weird.
Oh yeah, I do see what you. Yeah, okay, I see that. I'm looking now. And I'm
Like
oh,
I see like a closet door in the background, possibly that's
Yeah.
got a little crack in it, and I see
Yeah.
that over the stream. I do not see that when I look at you in Skype.
Oh, see, I did.
I only see the edges of your chair in Skype.
Oh wow! So you're getting a strange pull on your side. And
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but the NDI is
Oh,
fine,
yeah.
so I'm like, fuck it.
She looks like no, she looks fine.
I have her camera as big as Thump's, but not as big as Ren's. Ren's, you're like shooting out 720. Everybody else is shooting out 1080. Like you're at 720, and everybody else is 1080. It's kind of weird.
On mine, you might as well be 4K, like you're solid there, Ren. I mean, you're in a square. Ren's
Oh, his video quality is
Webb's
good.
letterbox. Like he's
See,
got
that's
the
what-
black bar at the top and the bottom, and then Jay is just like you, but she's all by herself at the bottom, so there's no reason her block should look like your block.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like
It's
she's
just
got
weird.
her spot. I got y'all two up there touching elbows, and it just didn't make any sense when I looked over and I looked at what I was seeing. I'm like, these are not the same video.
Weird.
Actually, all this is kind of weird.
But yeah, all right. So that was the first part I got onto about. We were talking about him going to the beach and whether or not you could get in the water, and I was like, fuck that shit. Think about all the places like. Think about Italy talking about how clear the water's gotten fish return to their waterways. Think
Yeah.
about other places where people have seen nature return to cities that haven't had like any wildlife in them in decades.
The coral reef is repairing itself.
Like there are all these
Amazing.
which are these really strange things. People took a vacation and stayed home, and all of a sudden the planet's like, all right, Band-Aid, we're good. And so that's why I was like, fuck the going in the water shit. But that led to this whole course of conversation about our effect on the planet
Yeah.
and us preparing not so much. Global warming may kind of be a little bit of truth and a little bit of farcity when you think about just climate change in general, natural occurrence of climate change. And yes, maybe we sped up the process, and maybe we should take some steps to lessen our acceleration of how this happens. But at the same time, I think more of our energy should actually be focused on the preparation of getting humanity to the other side of these events that happen, if that's our choice, to instead of fighting it, finding a way to deal with it and make it through.
I think it should be both.
Well, yeah, no, I didn't deny the fact that, yes, there are things that we should do to take some steps to help not continue the rapidization of it, of our act of accelerating climate
Yeah.
change. Like, I believe, yes, we should take some of those steps, but I also believe that maybe we shouldn't only be fighting climate change because it is naturally going to occur. Like,
It is.
we know it's happened tens of millions of times over the billions of years our planet has existed. We've got documented evidence, a lot of documented evidence that says that it's happened.
It's not as dramatic
Well, I understand that's our that
it has been in the past, in basically the history of modern humanity.
right. And like I said, I
That's
understand the
basically
impact of it, but I also think that we should
catastrophic event
I understand.
that wiped out multiple species,
Oh,
right?
that was 100 billion years ago.
No, but he's talking about the way that climate has changed over the history of the planet.
Yeah,
Right.
every 100 years the planet changes its temperature by 2 degrees, and every 1,000 years something gets wiped out.
Right. So taking that into account, yes, there are changes that happen to the planet
Natural.
naturally.
Right. And I'm not disavowing the knowledge that we have made an impact in our current timeline.
Right.
Yes, we should take steps, which we've done a lot, actually, as far as steps that smaller communities have taken. Like the United States has taken some pretty good steps, but we kind of shifted everything to a place that didn't give a fuck about itself. That's what we did. We didn't really eliminate our pollution to the planet
Not at all.
as much as moved it to where it became somebody else's issue in their
100%.
environment.
Yeah.
China.
100%. As it relates to
China, Malaysia, like places like that,
Yep.
where we ship our garbage there.
yep,
Like,
that's right.
yeah, there's so many levels of like what we do where we were like, all right, well, we need to save America. It's like, well, it doesn't work that way, right?
Right.
Like
yeah.
you know
actually,
that the globe doesn't give a fuck about that idea of saving America. So
Right.
and that's
Fix
where
makes another country's problem.
that's where
Yeah.
I'm like, but we should also, as this global community, make a little bit more effort into noting what's happening and making the changes necessary to be able to deal with it society wise.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should prepare for
While
the
while
fact
changing
that-
prepare while changing our habits.
Yeah, I think we should prepare due to the fact that it'll be hard to undo the damage that's already been done, right?
Right.
So
Right. There's a
the-
certain
the-
amount we're only gonna, even if we start really fixing, like, I don't know, I think our timeline's a little bit different. I think COVID gave us a better understanding of what we could do
Mhm.
because we see what the world looks like with very limited manufacturing. We saw what the world looks like with very little of the daily pollution that's put into it.
Mhm.
So with that understanding, that's got to be some of the most valuable information our scientists are going to be able to look at and see how rapidly our planet took care of itself.
Yeah, I actually really, really enjoy the fact that like we all thought, oh my God, there's no way we're gonna be able to fix this. But essentially, us staying home for what is it, 2 months now?
57 days.
It has prompted the planet to like start healing itself, which is so crazy to me.
Right.
Like,
82,080 minutes, by the way, if you were keeping track.
This also led to my disappointment with the concept of the show Snowpiercer.
Yeah, see, I'm not familiar with that one.
Because
the show?
theo-
There's a show?
theoretically, they're saying that this train travels.
You haven't seen the movie?
This train travels continuously, okay?
Yeah, I've seen the movie. The movie's amazing. I didn't know there was a show.
It's grounded on complete and total nonsense, okay?
Yeah, it says it's a perpetual motion engine, which doesn't really exist.
Wait, no, look, that's fine. That's fine. Even if they fuel it on board with stuff that they make on this 1,000-car train, I'm cool with the train idea. But the fact that you said outside this train, everything dies, period, because the temperatures, they have no means to do anything outside of this train.
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell maintains the tracks? I'm a train traveler. I ride the rails. This is absolute nonsense to me.
That's the part that's nonsense to you?
That's the entire grassroots ground of the entire theory.
But okay, so the idea is that the train runs on a perpetual motion engine.
Uh-huh. Who maintains the tracks?
I don't know. Maybe they're very well built tracks.
Yeah. All right. So, as a person who travels on the rails quite regularly,
Yeah.
them motherfuckers need maintenance on a regular basis. And I guarantee if we could get a representative from Singapore or Shanghai or one of these other fucking places that has one of these bullet fucking trains, I guarantee you, even with trackless running where they don't touch the tracks, I guarantee there's a high amount of maintenance that goes into keeping those motherfuckers running too. And on the
know.
tracks, the
That's a good question.
tracks.
We should email somebody
Like
and be
the
like,
tracks.
hey,
I was immediately completely disinterested when I was like, it's a train that nobody ever is allowed to get off of, and it just goes. And I'm not concerned about how it goes. I don't care if they were pulling poor people off the ass end of it and feeding them into the generator. Didn't matter. Power was not my problem. Maintenance became the issue. I was like, fuck that. I was like, there's no way it'd make one trip around and it would be fucking done. Because you see the avalanche happen in the fucking little show fucking cut, and you're like, uh-huh. Okay, so you built a
Okay.
train strong enough to pierce that, but
or that the idea is that nobody ever gets off the train.
I don't know. I saw one person put their arm outside the train and it froze like a rock and they busted it and threw it in something.
I think you should watch the movie. The movie's much better.
I don't know. I think the principle of
should-
it. I
you
think the
should watch-
principle. I still think the principle of it is an absolute farcity and total nonsense.
I don't know that no one is ever allowed to get off the train.
Okay.
I
Well,
think
now
that-
if there is the ability to maybe pop out at all the locations around on this train, then this is also another flaw that I have. Why the fuck are we all on this goddamn train?
because
it-
the environment is toxic. But so you can be off periodically, but you eventually have to get back on. Yeah, I know. There are holes. I understand.
Yeah, like so,
Yeah.
and I just like I said, I started at the bottom. For me, at the bottom, underneath the train, the tracks, like that's right where I went. I was like, I ride on
You
track.
can be in space for a period of time. You just can't be out there indefinitely.
Well, we don't know. We know
No.
we know. Well, no, we know that there are certain effects that the body has that we haven't found a way to either deal with or have the knowledge base beyond a certain amount of degradation that we allow bone to go through.
Yeah, but before that ever happens, you'll run out of oxygen. Is what
Oh,
I'm
you
saying.
mean as just in space? Well,
Yeah, in space.
yeah, I'm talking like space stations and travel and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like you
Mhm.
can manufacture oxygen. Like the space has some. It just it takes a lot of work in order to convert the vacuum into any kind of breathable
Yeah.
substance.
So you could be in space in a suit with a limited amount of oxygen for a limited period of time,
True.
but eventually you'd have to get to somewhere
That's
that
right.
has
The
continuous
people who work on the space station, prime example.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But that's also going out and working on the machine that you're part of. And I'm talking about performing maintenance on a train that doesn't stop.
You really should watch the movie. I 100%.
Does it, wait, hold on. Does the train stop?
The train does not stop.
Then you're leaving people behind to fix the fucking tracks.
But the train does run on a continuous track around the world.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. You'd have to,
So-
you just leave people on the tracks. Be like, sorry, you're going to die.
I don't. I think
Your family will be well taken care of, but we will suspend all of your family rights if the track's not right when we come back.
Hey, Ren.
Yeah, man.
Sandy Hook will reopen Saturday, May 9th,
Yeah, that was last weekend.
along with other areas of GNR, Gateway National Recreation, for
Yeah, it says
limited.
nothing about no sunbathing. It says
Can I finish?
I read the same thing you did.
Limited passive recreation.
What
Right.
does that mean?
Just
So-
walking, running, hiking, fishing, and kayaking. That's
No,
exactly
it said
what-
it includes. Read the statement very carefully.
Right.
Some activities may include.
No. Areas open for limited passive recreation like walking, running, hiking, fishing, and kayaking. Parking lots 50% cut to capacity.
Yes.
There is no sunbathing until May 24th.
What does that even mean?
Trying to go to the beach.
can't lay on the beach, lady.
You can't go to the beach. You're gonna get like the people in Florida who went to the beach, and now there's like 2,000
Fuck the
more
people in
infections.
Florida. They were stupid to begin with, if you remember. They were on spring break down there. They all deserved to die. They were stupid. No one was wearing masks, none of that shit. Now we've got different things going on. You wear your mask, you get in your car, you drive to where you go, you get out, you put your fucking mask on before you even get out of the car. I'm gonna take my beach bag and my beach chair, I'm gonna walk down to the beach, I'm gonna find my spot, I'm gonna put my blanket out, I'm gonna put my chair down, I'm gonna strip down into my bathing suit, I'm gonna put my toes in the sand, and I'm gonna take that mask off immediately and bask in the sun.
Well,
Ortley Beach open.
have fun at the hospital.
Point Bets. You're another one.
Come on
That's
now.
like
Hold on.
shit.
Hey, don't go that route because we know statistically, if anything, Webb's probably asymptomatic.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah,
Who
we
knows?
don't. We're really probably not worried about him going to the hospital.
Mhm.
Like he's probably already had COVID like 9 times. Oh, speaking of Webb, COVID 9 times. You and I were talking about the Michael Yo.
Yeah. Yeah, hold on. Let me just get this rest out for a run and we'll go there. Point Pleasant Beach, Seaside Heights, closed. Belmar, closed.
This is you can have this conversation any day of the week
Anywhere
about what
on the-
beaches are open and closed.
So it's either little tiny beaches, Ren, or it's the Bayside. And what I'm thinking, and the reason why you asked, oh, Bayside? I want to go wherever there's a brewery because you ain't getting fucking beer anywhere at the beach.
That's why I said go to Seabright.
Fuck Seabright. That's a pain in the ass. And Seabright is, what's over there to drink?
Tommy's Tappan Tavern.
That's a bar. It's closed.
It's open for takeout.
Is
That's all
open
you need.
right now? Okay, yeah, that's true. Well, I figured fresh beer from a brewery. Okay. Tommy Yo.
So Michael Yo,
Michael Yo, yes.
COVID, 8 days ICU.
Yes, and he's awake now.
Oh,
But he does-
he's already back home. He was just on Joe Rogan today.
If anybody doesn't know, Michael Yo, comedian, actor, stand-up, Chelsea Lately, What else did he do?
Yeah, he's
This-
got a very
he-
extensive
he-
background
he-
of all this other stuff. If you don't know who Michael Yo is, Google him. We're not telling you right now. We're going to do other things.
Okay.
So, Michael Yo gets COVID, goes down, 8 days ICU. He's back. Never had to go on a ventilator because his doctor told him not to.
kills people.
Told
you
the
know.
nurse not to put him on the ventilator. But he went down, felt like he was going to die, pretty much thought he was checking out. Found out after all of that, and once he got home and everything was all settled in, his mom, now Michael Yo, his mom, now teases him because she got the COVID too.
Ah,
Yeah.
She beat it in one day. Now, this is his Korean mother.
Okay.
This is his Korean mother. She beat it in one day, and she picks on him about having to spend 8 days in ICU and says, "You too healthy. You need more carbs."
it's really nothing to brag about. Beating it in one day, being from Korea. when you
Dude.
think about it.
Dude, she was like, "You too healthy." She's like, she's like, "I beat it one day."
She's probably been,
She said, "I beat it one day, one fever."
she's probably been exposed to so much other shit. Her body's built up a tolerance for any kind of fucking COVID-like virus.
Just like any kid that was born in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, we practically did lick doorknobs and
Yeah,
eat paint.
yeah.
Like we've been exposed to so much shit. We have a pretty stout immune system.
I think older people in particular, like I think
Well, it's you get to a certain age where even your body's ability starts to reject that stuff. So older to a degree.
Yeah,
to a degree, but even though I feel like my grandfather, when I was really little, I used to be really, really skittish, and my grandfather told me this crazy story about how when he was in, well, he lived in Puerto Rico for like a short amount of time,
Okay.
and they had like hurricanes and crazy stuff happening all the time.
Right.
And people would, you know, you had to drink water, you had to find food. So people would like find these buckets and just grab water from like these wells and just keep it moving. And every so often, there'd be like an animal or something floating where the water was. And you'd think you'd pour it back. But
Oh,
it's like,
nothing but a little dysentery or
they just push it aside and keep it moving. It was like, but how can you do that? Like, I couldn't wrap my brain around that. Like, how could you even do that? Aren't you worried you're going to die? Or
it's,
you're going to,
it's,
like,
it's what you had to do. It was what you had to do. No, if you didn't do it, you were gonna die. You
right.
like there's an understanding in humanity. The one thing all of us get a really good grasp of is need to stay hydrated. More important than eating.
Yeah. Like,
Man.
people would just keep it moving. And I feel like people from a certain generation are just so like party. Like, you ever hear about those like 100-year-old men or whatever who just eat steak every day and just like eat
like-
Or the
Like
or the
unhealthy stuff ever,
or-
and they're just like super, super hardy and strong, and it doesn't even
live forever.
you
Yeah.
you hear about them all the time now. I mean, it seems like every week we've got a new 100-plus-year-old birthday, and I like the fact that when anybody asks them a question, you know, what do you credit a long life to? Most of them are like smoking, drinking, and fucking. Like, no shit. They don't get. There's no fucks given anymore, and they tell you the fucking truth. They're just like,
Mhm.
I smoked all the time. I drank a lot, and I mean, back in the day, you know, it's like
Back in the day, we'd have
That's-
steak every day.
yeah,
We'd have, you know,
lots
whatever,
of butter,
like,
lots of butter,
lots of butter.
like natural butter.
Yeah, like natural butter.
Yeah, natural.
Well, it
fucking
didn't-
And
butter.
like today, that's what they, I bet, and any one of them, I bet, if they changed their diet, started eating like salads every day, they'd probably die.
Cook with animal fat instead of like vegetable oil.
Lard.
Yeah.
Hey, don't knock it. You ever cook in lard? It
Oh,
fucking
dude,
is
it's
nice.
amazing.
Yeah,
Oh no,
that's right.
everything tastes so much better that way. But
Sure, when you go back to the way we used to do things in the 50s and 60s, sure. Look, go buy a fucking Chips Ahoy chocolate chip cookie and remember what it tasted like when you were like 7, 8 years old. and
has
that's-
anybody watched that show of Eating the Past?
No, I have not.
There's a
Right.
show where these guys literally acquire 30,
Oh, yeah,
40,
yeah.
50-year-old products
Now I know what you're talking about.
and
Yep.
they open them and they eat them.
Yeah. What
They
was
got
the one? The
they got
fucking can of-
Pringles. They got Pringles.
He opened the can of Chef Boyardee, and it was one huge chunk of amalgamated blob inside the can. I saw that. I know what you're talking about.
Coagulated.
Modulated, whatever the homodulated.
Oh yeah, it's a ton of things though that they've done. They've eaten some of the
Nice.
craziest shit. They did Campbell's soup.
That might have been the one I'm talking about. It was just
It-
one big hard rock mass. In the
No, they
fuck-
did one that was actually a powder.
Oh,
It was
disgusting.
an old version where they had freeze dried, dehydrated, whatever the hell, and did the whole thing. It was a powder that you had to add water to, cook for a little while, remove from the heat, add milk to, put back on the heat.
Just
Like it was a process. But they
Now, I-
said it was pretty good. They also opened a can of Pringles. They said was pretty good. They did Oreos. They did new Oreos versus old Oreos. And old Oreos, the cream filling was that lard fucking fat.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
I-
like it was made with that, and that was how you could tell how old it was because it used to be. It said it on the container, made with animal fat.
Yeah, that's lard. I just ate a can of fucking Chef Boyardee. I don't know, spaghetti and
They still
meatballs.
make that?
Yeah,
Yeah, believe it or not, I found it in the closet. So I was like, I'm gonna eat this, and then I cracked the top open and I put it in a bowl and threw it in the microwave, and you're rinsing off the can and shit, and I'm looking at it, it's like, oh, expired 2017.
Oh.
So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna eat it anyway just to see what it tastes like.
Right.
Well,
Well, look, like I said, these guys have kind of made my hesitation to dive into certain things a little bit less.
Hey,
Like,
I'm curious.
It was very metallic.
Oh, okay.
I could taste the
Yeah,
metal
but-
can.
for me, Chef Boyardee is that way anyway. Like, their
Yeah.
ravioli, their spaghettios, all that stuff.
It
To
was
me,
like meatballs. I was chewing up the meatball, and you could still taste aluminum.
yeah, they all taste like the can to me. That's been the. I think their sauce sucks it up.
Well, it's Chef Boyardee. Its sauce blows anyway. But
Yeah.
no disrespect. to
Well,
Chef
no, it does.
Boyardee.
It does. And if you're having to eat it, like I hope that somebody teaches you how not to have to eat it.
Right.
But if anybody's out there eating it, I hope you have also stuff to doctor it up with because that was always my big thing. Load that shit down with like some Parmesan cheese, fucking throw sliced cheese in that motherfucker, cook it, whatever. Like I'm always a cheese guy anyway. Web and Rim both know mean cheese.
Jeez, that's right.
Just fucking, I'm a happy motherfucker if I got plenty of meat and cheese. But it's opened me up to a little bit of like that expiration date idea. If it comes on old ass products, there's a certain level of definitely acceptability that is allowed because we don't do shit like that anymore. And
Yeah.
that just proves how good shit used to be done.
Yeah. I agreed.
Yeah, that's true.
So for me, if I run across like a 30-year-old item somewhere and everything looks pretty decent on it and I open it up and it don't smell bad and there's like not stuff that's a problem, like when those guys ate the Oreos, they said you could smell that the animal fat had kind of
Dissipated.
turned. It
Yeah.
turned. It had kind of gotten to where it wasn't really supposed to be eaten. But when they ate it, they were like, it still tastes like an Oreo. The chocolate's actually a lot better back then than it was in the Oreo cookie now.
Yeah.
They used real cocoa powder back then.
But they said you could tell the difference in where the animal fat had gone bad. Like, had at one time expired. Like, you could tell that in the cookie.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, that was supposed to be. See, the can of Chef Boyardee was supposed to be part of the COVID barbecue, where you bring.
Oh, the COVID cue, the expired food. Yeah.
which I wound up eating. And by the way, I ate the whole thing.
Well, I imagine it probably. I mean, aside from the metallic taste, which I naturally, like I said, for me, naturally it just has that anyway. Aside from the metallic taste, it probably just tasted like fucking Chef Boyardee. So you just kind of like do your little
What?
bit of doctoring it up and keep
Yeah,
kicking.
yeah, it wasn't all that bad. I will say that. Um, but it was very metallic-y. Like it was really. I mean, I get what you're saying. I always thought that too. The kind of like when you open a beer, you take that first sip, and you're like, oh God, I can taste the bottle cap or whatever, and then you wipe it out, and everything's good. It was like oxidation. You know what
Oxidation.
oxidation. Thank you. Gets in there and fucks up with the fucks with the cap and shit. But it was so potent. Like I felt like I was chewing at times, chewing on the can lid.
Yeah, I can believe
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I don't remember that as a kid. I remember it always being a little bit metallic. Yeah, like I could taste the can. This was like I ate the can, but I ate it. Fuck it.
Oh,
I had
Jay,
to. Fuck it.
Jay.
Yeah.
Also, a little show note opener that you missed was I miss. So, how was your weekend? What'd you do on your weekend? That used to be every Tuesday's show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't ask because we know. We don't ask because we know. We know you ain't done shit.
Not much.
Well, I do have a question for J7 since
Like-
I looked in notes before.
Like there's very little things that we have to highlight on each weekend coming forward. Where before, like Webb would have had a ton of concert stories
Yeah.
to be telling us because his season's coming in. Ren and whatever the hell him and his girl were going to be getting into with this fucking new Jeep of theirs. Like that's a whole list of stories that doesn't get told right now. It's stuff like that. It's like this is what COVID kind of took from us was
Yeah.
the joy of going out and having a weekend.
Yeah. True. There's really nothing to do except chill out, pick up some new hobbies, I guess.
Yeah. What'd you do?
Okay.
What'd you do this weekend? I learned how to speak Chinese.
Has anybody done any of that? Has anybody like tried to learn an instrument? Has
Dude,
anybody?
I got a job. What are you talking about?
I was going to get there too. I applied for a job too. I'm waiting for my find out whether or not I'm going to get it.
His is funnier than mine, so
I try.
What's your
sometimes.
job?
Well, that depends. Thump brought it up, so he should go first.
yeah, mine. Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
All right. People that sell like furniture and desk chairs and stuff like that, like scratch and dent kind of stuff, like not
Yeah.
used, but
Yeah.
Return
like
products?
random Stuff, basically.
Scratching it.
yeah, return products, so the scratch and dent section of a store. I work at the place that repairs those items to be sold. So the guy that I'm working for literally operates a Facebook Marketplace, and we actually, just in the 2 days of me being there, we do a lot of business. It's kind of crazy. I had no idea Facebook Marketplace would actually sustain a business.
Wow.
And
So wait, you actually like go someplace and replace.
I go to a warehouse that is stacked with goods of desk and chairs and recliners and bassinets and fucking cribs and you name it, like like pretty decent shit. And of course, sold on the cheap because there might have been a little problem, a little scratch and dent, this, a little ting here, stuff like that. And yeah, people come in all day, like all day. We get people coming in and going, "Hey, I saw this," and they give us a item number that's been listed to the Facebook Marketplace. We go to our row of stuff and go, "Yeah, here it is," and they're like, "Can we take a look at it?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Can you put it together?" That's what I do. I put these things together.
I pick things up and put things down.
But
Sorry.
that's
Not
kind of just all I'm doing right now. I was like, give me something to do during the day. I go out and I fuck around in the warehouse for a little while, like putting together furniture and fixing it
Wow.
and making it look good and sending it out the door. But I was amazed. I didn't even I had no idea that Facebook Marketplace had the ability to turn enough product
Oh my
to
god.
sustain a business on its own.
The amount of shit I see being sold over there through businesses is insane because I have actually been trolling through Facebook Marketplace for a lot of shit lately.
I like the
Well,
fact that he
he-
said
here-
trolling and moved his hand and his face went away.
Well, here's a funny story about it. So Facebook Marketplace. So I bought the Jeep,
Mhm.
and we've been looking to find a bike rack. Now, every Jeep I've ever owned, I had a bike rack for the spare tire,
Thule.
and a lot of them, it's like you have to remove the spare tire, you put a post through, you stick you put the tire back on, you mount it,
Right.
and then you have this post that's sticking out that anytime you want to stick the bike carrier on it, you stick it on and you wind this thing down. Cool, good enough. I was like, all right, well, let me look around, and they're like $135, $140. I'm like, oh well, let me go see what Thule has or what Yakima has,
Right.
name brand places. Yeah, Thule had a bike rack. It was called the Spare Me bike rack for $289.
Ouch!
Now, mind you, it's nothing but a tubing rack that has an oscillating arm that comes down that you put your bikes on, some plastic, some straps, and that's kind of it, with a plate that goes behind the tire and a bolt to screw it in, $290.
Screw your
So I
boat.
go on Facebook Marketplace. I found the same exact thing. I bought it yesterday for $50.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, 129.
$50 I got it for.
I'm just saying, 129 is the wheel mount bike rack from Quadratec, which is a
Mhm.
Thule, or it's a Thule, even though it comes with a Quadratec name. Yeah, they sell it for 129. So yeah, you got a great deal. You got it more than half off.
$50. It's Thule's name. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I know the quality.
Like I said,
The
it-
963 spare me is 279.95.
I see that stuff all the time, but I pay
What'd you just say?
zero.
$269.95.
Yeah, 279.95 for the Thule 963 spare me spare tire bike rack.
I've seen
Yep.
that shit all the time. Pay it
Very
zero
good.
attention.
Yeah, I tried.
And then all of a sudden, I found myself here, and I'm like, wait. I was like, how do we sell things? And my buddy is like, they go to our Facebook Marketplace page. They come in and show us what they want. We take their phones, scroll up on it, get the item number, and
make shit happen.
go fucking grab it
Yeah.
from over there. Our boss literally sits and lists shit constantly.
Facebook Marketplace is a good place to sell shit. I mean,
It's
even
amazing.
if you're just independent, I mean, I see a lot of that. You know, there's others, there's Let Go. They don't let you set up stores, where Facebook Marketplace allows you to link all your shit together so you can have a store.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. I'm very impressed. Like my boss is
That's where I found the place to get my car tuned.
a small Arab fella.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he's like where regionally he is. I just know that the writing is definitely Arabic. Like
Okay.
his personal writing.
I see.
Like when he texts, it's in Arabic.
Oh.
Yeah, like I know that like that's all I know. So but he is a funny motherfucker. He is very particular, which is good for the customers as far as that's concerned. Like when it comes to dealing with like the furniture and doing the repairs and how we repackage shit that comes in. Like we check something to see what was wrong. If it's something small and we can fix it and get it out the door, then we do that. We fix it, get it out the door. But when we repackage it, it's 900 times better than how it came into our fucking store.
It's pretty. I want you to know that when I bought the furniture for my house, they fucked up my dining room table. You know, scratches, nicks in the wood, shit like that. and they sent out a guy who was scratch and dent.
I am
That was
also
his-
I was almost employed to do that today.
Yeah.
Was a lady had come in, she had bought a couple pieces, one for her mom and a couple for herself, and then she was like, "Can I get these things built?" But she didn't ask that in the store. She left, went and saw
Right.
her husband, and her husband's like, I'm not putting this shit together, right?
Well, that's the smart way. That's so you
And
can-
so she asked,
keep-
she calls
yeah.
back and she's like, "Hey, will y'all put this stuff together?" And he's like, "I can send a guy out there, $45 a piece."
Yep. I
Mm-hmm.
think it cost me like $129 to have this guy come in, and he came in even with the steamer. He was like, "Wow, they put a really, really big, like they carried the chair in and whacked the side of the door frame, and the wood looked like it was gouged." He was like, "Wow, they really did a number on this. Hold on." He goes out to his truck and he's like, "Can I plug something in?" Yeah, and he's fucking sitting there for like 40 minutes with a steamer.
Yeah.
Steaming this piece of wood with a fucking like a clothing steamer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
I have
maybe-
no doubt. Like you
yeah,
should
maybe
s-
look
you
more
should see
cheap than that.
you should see the amount of stains, putties, and
Oh,
all
there's
the
that-
other shit that I have access to. Like
Oh, and
I
the
was a
color
custom
stain kit.
I was a custom woodworking trim guy, and this collection has impressed me.
Yeah, wood stains and shit. I mean, this guy came in and opened it with a fucking like one of them old guys who would work on dolls, like Toy Story.
Yeah, open up a tackle box that's got all the
Right.
shit.
3 fucking shelves, and it was nothing but colors. And then you pull out the tray on inside, and that's folded down 2 more steps, and it was like, okay, yours is a chocolate cappuccino maple. That's a strange.
I
All right, well,
also don't
look at
agree with
mix-
manufacturer. I also don't agree with manufacturer colors versus the colors.
Real world colors, yes.
Well, we've got. It's funny. Our new thing is rustic gray and rustic white.
Oh,
That me and my buddy, him, Ren Desmond. That's who I'm
Mhm.
working. I'm working with him.
Oh, okay,
He's the
you're working
one.
with Des.
He's the one that got me in here. And so, we're literally going through all this shit, and it's like this is rustic white and that's rustic gray, and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, maybe that's rustic gray and maybe that's rustic gray, but that is rustic white if it's anything other than white. And he goes, "No, I think that's only white." And I'm like, "See, no, that's rustic white. These 2 items," he goes, "No, this one says it's rustic white." And I'm looking at it and I'm like, "Nah, it's the same color as that one." He's like, "Yeah, that one's rustic gray." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying." Like, I don't think the companies who named these, because they were 2 different companies, I don't think the companies that name these things know what the fuck they're talking about. They need to get their people inside their facilities to retitle all their shit, because this color is not what you sent out. In the world of color, it is not what you told people they were getting. When you send somebody something that is gray and visually textured, because we know a lot of furniture doesn't have actual texture, but it has the appearance of texture.
Mhm.
So rustic is the appearance of aging, which doesn't physically show up on
Right.
the product. It just looks like it's there. And there was a rustic white and a rustic gray that were literally the exact same color, while something else was called white and had the texturing in it and should have been called rustic white. It was like, you motherfuckers are all playing with me. This is dumb. Learn your colors, people. Y'all are supposed to be big manufacturers too. And if we're sorting your shit out down here in the fucking scratch and dent section, you need to fucking get your shit right.
Yeah.
And also make your people fucking more responsible with their stuff they're selling.
Yeah, that's true.
Why don't we take a break and I'll come back with my job application.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
because
Yeah.
his is good, but it's gonna take a while to explain it.
No, not really. Not really.
Well,
Um,
I mean,
Webby's applied to be a contact tracer.
You know who's doing a show right now
Ooh.
on Facebook? And all they're talking about is the 90-day fiance before the 90-day leak.
Anything?
You- What's that, Jay?
Who? What?
No Filter Paul, comedian, stand-up comedian. He's doing a show on Facebook right now where they're talking about the leaked footage from the 90-day fiance before the 90 days.
yeah. It's a
Well,
good
the
show
last
though.
was-
It's a good show though if you can
They
get
had to
into
stop
it
filming. Yeah, they had to stop filming it. So this is everything that was done. They
prior.
filmed this to make it seem like it was before, like it's all COVID, uncontact shit. Anyway, shit leaked on the internet, and now everybody's watching it.
Mm.
Who the fuck leaked it is beyond me. All right, when we come back from the break, I'll tell you what I applied to be.
Okay.
A contact tracer.
I will tell you what I applied to be.
All right.
Such a douchebag.
What a
8-bit bros,
fucking-
assholes. and
Wasn't hard, bro.
Yes.
It's been all over the news. Good money to be made.
No, it's not. 8-bit bros. We'll be right back after this.
Good evening. Do you like to laugh? Are you at one with the haha? Do you like your comedy coming over the streaming medias? If so, then go directly to Amazon right now. Do not hesitate and download Jim Andrino's Not Dead Yet. Recorded live at the world famous comic strip. It is a giggle-a-second fun fest. An hour of me for you. Jim Andrino's Not Dead Yet. Available only on Amazon.
Before you realize life is a lie, you're running out of days. Well, I'm too damn old to rock and roll, but I'm too young to play singing the blues.
Hi, I'm Snowy Angel.
And I'm Kinky Candy.
Have you heard of Spunk Lube yet?
Oh, you have got to get it.
I mean, really, it's the lube that everyone's talking about and everyone's gonna want.
Look at that. It looks like real cum.
Yeah, I mean, how can that get better? I mean, it's nice. It just feels so good when you rub it all over yourself. Everywhere. And you know what gets better about it? There's different kinds of Spunk Lube.
They actually have hybrid.
Yes, and they have different colors too. Like they have pink and yellow and even green. Like, what can get better than that? If you want like the kinkiest, spiciest nights,
Yes.
Spunk Lube.
Oh, hell yeah. Get spunked today.
Get it today at spunklube.com. That's right, spunklube.com. And don't forget it.
Get yours.
Right now.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Centerfold Retoucher.
Mr. Centerfold Retoucher.
Your incredible talent takes gorgeous women and somehow makes them gorgeouser.
A mucho gogioso.
Breasts bigger, moles smaller, mustaches gone.
You're a star.
Thanks to you, hot wax is a thing of the past, and working out is for suckers.
Ancient history.
Any artist can say their work is in a gallery, but how many can say their work is stuffed under mattresses around the world?
You're gonna go right.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, old Da Vinci of the Derriere, because thanks to you, we can enjoy real beauty the way we like it. Completely fake. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, Fort Collins, Colorado.
Hey, everybody out there. This is John G, and I have a special on Amazon called Living Large. It's a stand-up special. It's funny. It was shot at the Comic Strip Live in New York City. You're gonna love it. You're gonna see me at my biggest. See, a few weeks ago, I had a heart attack. So if you don't want to go watch it because I'm funny, have some pity on me. Go watch my special. I'm in weight. I'm not gonna be so big anymore. No more living large. I gotta lose weight. They want me to take off pounds. I don't want to take off pounds. I love food. But anyway, go watch the special. It's gonna be funny. And I don't know how much longer I gotta live. I'm wearing this defibrillator thing. I don't know what this thing does. Supposedly it shocks me if my heart stops. My heart stopped years ago. Anyway, John G, Living Large, Amazon. Go check it out before I'm not here to watch.
listen, and imagine. It takes 5 seconds to send a text, and for those 5 seconds, you're driving blind. Life is worth more than a text. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
You got something you want to get off your chest? We want to hear it. Call in 917-720-3038. The Ironic Radio hotline is now open. Ironic Radio, well, isn't it?
Why men great till they gotta be great? Woo! I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% that bitch. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You could've had a bad bitch, not committal. Help you with your career, just a little. You're supposed to hold me down, but you're holding me back. And that's the sound of me not calling you back. Why are men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. New man on the Minnesota Vikings. True first needed something more exciting. You tried to break my heart, oh that breaks my heart. That you thought you ever had it, no you ain't from the start. Hey, I'm glad you're back with your bitch. I mean, who would wanna hide this? I will never, ever, 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 ever be your side chick. I put the singing single, ain't worried about a ring on my finger, so you can tell your friend, shoot your shot when you see him. It's okay, he already in my DM. Why are men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. New man on the Minnesota Vikings. True first needed something more exciting. I'ma hit you back in a minute. I don't play tag, bitch, I've been there. We don't fuck with lies, we don't do goodbyes. We just keep it pushing like aye, aye, aye. I'ma hit you back in a minute. I don't play tag, bitch, I've been there. We don't fuck with lies, we don't do goodbyes. We just keep it pushing like aye, aye, aye. Why men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. New man on the Minnesota Vikings. True first needed something more exciting.
That kind of abruptly ended on me.
I was
It kind of abruptly ended.
just about to bring it back.
Yeah, 8-Bit Bros.
Hey man, I didn't mean to blow up your shit. It was a wild guess. We were talking about it before the show.
Yeah, I know. 8-Bit Bros, early edition. Yes, I have signed up to be a contact tracer.
Did you? I have to send you. You probably already have it, but there's a link to the 5-hour course out there already.
Yeah, all 12 parts of it. I've already taken 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm up to lesson 2, the basics of contact tracing.
Yeah, well, the articles I was reading, if you do it in New York, you can make up to $65,000 a year. $22 an hour.
Yeah, I don't know what New Jersey's doing. I applied for all 4 positions. Don't care if it's volunteer or paid. Don't care. Part-time.
Well, you want paid.
Well, of course, but I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I am a firm believer that everyone should be tested. Everyone. They should be fucking going door to door like a census taker who, if you didn't fill out your census, will be showing up at your door any fucking day now.
They haven't done that yet.
Okay, with a fucking swab. Here you go. Oh, how many people live in the house? Oh, there's 3 here. Okay, your census taker. Okay, and your name and your social security name. Okay, and open your mouth and take this fucking swab, or I'm gonna prick your finger and take your fucking blood. Okay, everyone needs to be tested. If you look at what California just did and turned around and said, July,
August.
Okay.
August. They're
August.
closed till August.
Yeah. People, go. There's only 9.2 million people in this fucking state. Only 280 plus thousand tests. If I gotta be fucking locked in the house till August, I'm either gonna commit suicide, I'm gonna kill my girlfriend, or when this is all lifted, I'm divorcing her. Because that's the next 3 things that you're gonna see happen. Suicide rates go through the fucking roof. People trying to kill each other in their own homes, or divorce rate going through the fucking sky.
Nope. I think honestly, the next phase is going to be the phase of pregnancy acknowledgments.
Yeah, but at least it won't be teen pregnancy. Hey, J7, when was the last time you saw your boyfriend? I asked you that 30-something days ago.
She would have to be back in front of the camera in order for you to
I
ask her
don't have the cam up in front of me.
Well, that's your irresponsibility of the situation, not ours.
Because I have the little cam, so I see you because you're talking.
Oh, you've got.
I've got
that cam up.
Here. I've got 2 different Facebooks going on over here. I've got fucking Periscope open also.
Fuck all y'all people on those other fucking Facebooks. All of y'all. Y'all, I hope y'all having fun over there. Fuck y'all.
I have a watch party. I started through the 8-Bit Bros tonight. I'm trying to suck my people over through watch parties. I'm trying.
Yeah, I like that. Now, that's something I will say. I joined on your watch party for the comedy special thing.
And you could see all the comments. Wasn't that
Well,
cool?
I could pick which conversation I wanted to be a part of, whether I wanted to be a part of your page's watch page or whether I wanted to be a part of the actual conversation that was available. So that's handy for Facebook.
Fuck yeah, because
they put those kind of particulars in place.
Yeah.
But on the other, because that's what cross-posting should have worked like.
Yeah. It just took them an extra 2 fucking years to figure it out. But you can't bring it to cross-posting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how
that's
cross-posting should work.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost a viewer from somewhere because I said, fuck you for not watching through the 8-Bit Bros.
Well, maybe they're just trying to figure
Why are people watching on Facebook? They should be watching like on Webby's Facebook. Why are they just watching on 8-Bit Bros?
That's what I'm trying to do.
Well,
is
that's
get my people who aren't fucking smart enough to understand that it says go to 8-Bit Bros Facebook for chat. It's no disrespect to my people, but y'all just as stupid as I am.
Yeah.
That's
and
why
not
you,
for anything.
that's why you like me.
Not for anything. Most of you that I end up finding out that it's you out there hanging out on the other side. I call you out. You know me too.
Yeah, that's right.
You know me too. Even though I'm in North Carolina, you know Thump. Thump's been up there. You've seen him.
J7, when was the last time you saw your boyfriend?
Oh my God.
Do you still call him that?
Yeah, I asked
Is the other question.
I asked you this question probably about 30 days ago.
I was going to say, I think the last time you asked her was a month ago.
Yeah, hold on. My notes are right here.
So have not
31 days ago. 1 month ago, I asked you.
you have notes?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So I have not seen him since the first week of March.
For a titty man out there, that means she's available.
What? That's not true.
So, all right. So y'all still game together regularly, I'm assuming.
We talk all the time. And we've been doing like movie watch parties where we sit on FaceTime.
Hey Webb, what was the best feature ever?
Oh yeah, right. The fucking watch parties.
Fucking Netflix watch parties where you could literally sit in a theater with your friends.
You know, you can still do that, but only on the desktop. I posted it out there a couple weeks back.
Wait, hold on. It's made a return?
Yeah, it's called Watch Party, if I'm not mistaken. Ren, wasn't that what it was called? Netflix Watch Party?
Netflix Watch Party, yeah.
Yeah.
We used to, our fucking avatars, avatars all the time used to get together in movie theaters and watch fucking shit together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Like,
don't do all that. We
They,
just sit-
they pulled that aspect away from it. It's no longer. You now have like your choice full screen. Obviously, you're watching with other people, so it's 3/4 screen and a streamed chat on the right side, so you can chat with your people while you're
Okay,
all
well,
watching.
integrating the chat function to the current model would be kind of cool. It makes it kind of a weird Twitch Netflix thing.
Yeah, it's called. If anybody's listening, it's called NetflixParty.com, and it's
Yeah,
a
we
plugin
had that for a while. It's just people don't really use it because
Yeah.
it has to be through your desktop.
Right, and right, it's
Right.
not part. It's not part of Netflix, so it doesn't help if you've got a smart TV and
Yeah.
shit like that. But if you're doing it off a desktop, laptop, something like that, you can install it. It's a Chrome browser extension, is all it really is. So if
Okay.
you're
Okay.
not using
We're
Chrome,
not really doing any of that. We just sit with FaceTime.
FaceTime up 2 tablets or 2 phones, whatever. Right.
Yeah, and then we just like watch, we press play, and just
So are you really that freaked out that you can't see your boyfriend who you normally would be like swapping spit with or other bodily fluids? I mean, this is your boyfriend. Are you that worried about what's going on? That
They're
you're not-
both nerds. They're both nerds, Webb. Come on. Like we know what their relationship was. Like, yeah, sure, there was their sloppy fun time that was not, but most of the time these two game together.
Yeah.
Their relationship probably hasn't changed much except for they don't game in the same room.
that's not true. We used to spend a lot of time together. We'd like go out to bars and we'd go places and we'd travel and
Yeah, I know. We
Yeah.
remember your birthday. We
Yeah.
We know he surprised you with New Orleans. We know
Mhm,
we're not doubting the fact that you still love him. But at the same time, like for him to be
After
like,
March, I'd be having a few fucking second thoughts. Bitch, can't fucking see me. What the fuck? All right. let's see
nah,
what
not
happens.
not these two, man. Their relationship has got a little bit of a different strain on it now. But I almost guarantee there was never going to be a problem with the way theirs works out. Like they can't wait to probably get together and hang out again. But they probably had just as much fun over FaceTime,
Yeah.
minus the spit swapping. Like the touch is probably the only thing missing out of this entire equation.
Yeah, it's hurt us to get a little more creative with how we interact with each other. Like,
So-
there's something I'm doing now that I probably wouldn't have bothered to share
Yeah.
because like I was gonna see him in 30 minutes. So like, why?
Or he was already there watching you do it. That type of
Or he
stuff.
was already
Yeah.
there, right?
Well, let me ask you this. Jess, have you guys at least had the conversation of quarantining together, or is that just not a possibility?
That's not a possibility because I need to make sure my mom is staying with me, and then
Oh,
his-
okay. Yeah,
Okay.
That's a whole nother
he
story then.
with
Okay.
his mom, so that would disrupt. Yeah, it
So
would.
you guys you're taking care of your mom or quarantining with your mom.
Yeah.
He's quarantining with his mom. Priorities are aligned where they should be, which
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah,
I
we're
applaud
hanging with
you
our
for.
families right now. We'll get together after all this is over.
Yeah. It
The
really
on-
sucks because
The only reason why I bring it up is last week I talked about one show that managed to figure out how to do an episode of their programming all based around coronavirus, and the entire show was literally shot via Skype, FaceTime, WebEx, whatever it was. And what parts of the conversation, because it was a drama, was, hey, why don't we quarantine together? And then it was all this like tension and all that stuff. And at the end of the show, she's like, yeah, let's do it. That kind of stuff. It was those interesting dynamics that go on with people that are in relationships that are not in the same household, like the three of us.
Right. It's definitely a
Those
different
type of dynamics, like those are the interesting psychological things to me. Like, how is this weighing on your relationship? Does it have a factor? Does it not have a factor?
no, there's a factor for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, there's definitely. I would definitely assume that there's got to be some kind of factor, but I also like just knowing you through the time that we've spent talking to each other. and what I've seen, like from watching y'all's Twitch and how y'all interact over there, it was only gonna be kind of a smaller interruption to things. Like y'all enjoy doing all the stuff together that y'all do, but I also know that y'all are both savvy enough to find time to really be able to do the quality things.
Yeah.
The only thing in those moments though is the physicality that's missing.
Yeah.
But y'all are both tech savvy enough and smart enough to kind of, all right, well, this is what we're dealing with right now. Like, this is how we got to do things. And so, yes, the physical interruption is a pain in the ass, but I didn't think there would be much trouble with how y'all would do anything.
No, we actually figured out how to make martinis. Like, I didn't know how to make a martini before.
Oh,
What? Okay.
Have you sat down and had those virtual dinners?
No, have not done that yet.
That's one of the things. Like you both agree on what you're gonna cook. You
Mhm.
come up with like go to allrecipes.com or whatever,
Yeah.
and you all go buy the ingredients and you sit there over FaceTime or whatever, and you cook the meal. You sit down, and you eat together.
I would so rather stick my thumb up my ass and sit on it for 3 hours than do that.
I would do a Google Eats motherfucking.
But you can't relate, Webb.
Yeah, I would do a Google
No,
Eats
I can
fucking.
relate. I just
boom.
know.
You can't relate to it.
Yeah, I can.
You're
Yeah,
sitting here going out of your mind saying, if this keeps going on much longer until August, you'll commit suicide.
Oh, I'm out. I'm out the door in fucking 3 days. Today's 27th Friday. I told you. Friday. I said it 2 weeks ago. Friday.
Friday.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
But it's
And
not
the craziest thing is, this is a dude that I knew before he was in a relationship that I had to literally beg him to go out
I'm out.
because he never got off his couch.
I want to go out with my babe. I want to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Period.
she
nowhere.
she inspired him to become
There's
the
plenty of places to go.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah. She's
That's
been
fair.
his go place inspiration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the dynamic of their relationship. Like Webb may have been the hermit computer nerd in the house
Mhm.
for quite some time, but IDK is not having that.
Yeah, no.
IDK requires motion and
Alright.
commotion and loves human interaction on every level of it. So Webb had to adjust to that. And he's adapted pretty well. He loves going out now. He pre-booked shit for her to do because he's like, yeah, let's go do this, babe. Like
Yup.
it's that type of shit. Like so that was his shell, and she managed to straight pull him right into every bit of anything else.
That's awesome. What a positive influence she's been on you.
To a certain
Well,
degree.
I was gonna say that's a double-edged sword too, but
To a certain degree.
yeah, it's a weird moment. So
Yeah, it is.
like I knew Webb pre IDK2, not as long as Ren's known him, but there is definitely a different guy, and the guy is amazing and a shithead at the same time. like he simultaneously is able to cut through life that way. So
Yeah. So Ren, here's an issue, or everyone actually. I don't want to say Ren, but Ren was the one who blew my shit up. So here's the complications about what it is I am about to try and do.
What are you gonna do?
Oh,
Be a contact tracer,
Ooh.
which means, with my certifications, I am now a government employee.
So they hired you?
And if they do, I would
Oh,
be
okay.
a government employee. And with the current bill that is on the table, HR 6666, I would have the right to remove you from your fucking house if you were positive.
guess what? Because of the bill that's on the floor right now, you will not be responsible for such things.
Well, yeah, first off, I don't think it's going to pass, but
Well, it's Mark of the Beast while the Beast is trying to get a job. I just don't think that's going to work.
The TRES Act, proposed in Congress, this act would allow government officials to enter anyone's home, which is basically what I would be doing, contact tracing, and force test them for COVID-19
You
and their
think
antibodies.
you think his neighbors on the street hate him now?
Then the government official would have the right to remove children from the home, remove anyone tested positive from their home, etc., etc.
They're not gonna have you doing that.
No. but I'm
Also,
sure
Webb
I
just
would
said
be-
he's joining the SS. I just
I'm-
want y'all to know that you just heard Webb say he's joining the SS.
Is it this one or this one? I don't
It-
know.
actually, neither of those are required for the modern installation, I'm sure. So
Hey, just remember, this symbol for the Nazi Party actually meant peace before the Nazis took it.
yeah, well, it's amazing how widely used the swastika was in several civilizations and societies as a very enlightening and motivating,
Yes, it was. It was a positive symbol.
a
until
very
the Nazis
positive
adopted it.
symbol until
And-
yeah. Well, it's just like the OK symbol, and it's
Hey.
the reason why in mine and Webb's chat I have the OK symbol is just to remind him all the time of how fucking absurd that
Let's not
is.
forget, the Confederate flag was a sign of a good thing also.
Well,
Uh,
yeah.
uh,
Well,
uh,
no, actually, for a
think
culture of
about-
people, now there are questions about exactly who was in charge of what the standards were,
yeah.
and there is argument to be made that the South wasn't really the baddest of bad guys in that situation.
There is a really interesting YouTube channel that I'm obsessed with right now. It's called Oversimplified. And they address these like really complex historical topics. They made a video about the Civil War and it's really, really cool. It's like funny.
It dives into a lot of what the either side of the bullshit may be that you may have been taught at some point.
Yeah. For
Yeah,
sure.
that's always a good thing. That's the one thing about history and society currently that I like to overanalyze.
You should check this out. Wait, let me find it.
Yeah,
right
definitely send me a link to
got
that.
it
That
here.
sounds like it's something right up my fucking alley.
I'll
Yeah.
send you right now, straight in.
This video was made possible by NordVPN.
Sorry about that.
With VPN. It's okay. I got the same one. I'm gonna beat you to it and paste it in there. There you go. Bam.
I don't get that commercial anymore. They just send me emails.
Oh, did you find it?
It was the second one on my search list when I typed in oversimplified YouTube, World War II Part 1, and then Civil War Part 1 came
It-
up.
Yeah,
first.
I imagine it's probably got a lot of really good information in it.
It's got really good info. And it
I like people who
definitely-
really research their information when it comes to historical fact.
Yes, it's like historically accurate and
My
it
historical
it
fact
talks
is
about
you
like
did research on their information.
all the like kind of, even though it's oversimplified, it goes into a lot of nuance about what
Well,
the
that's
Civil War
that's kind
really
of the
was about.
pun that they play on themselves, I'd imagine. That's why their channel's probably as successful as it. I'd
Yeah, it's
almost guarantee it probably
successful.
is.
They've got like 9 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Yes.
About to
So
become-
yeah, this sound as soon as you said like started going into the vocabulary, I was like, okay, this sounds like something I need to check out, and it sounds like it hits the point. Yes, jokingly they call themselves oversimplified because they only hit the footnotes,
Yeah.
but at the same time they're giving you more knowledge than you're probably traditionally exposed to. So
Yeah.
that's the part that I like in that conversation. Like I felt that right when you said it, I was like, oh, this is probably right up my alley. I love
totally.
people who like to. I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm just letting you know the story.
Yeah.
And that's something you don't get a lot when you go research things
Mhm.
is you're told things all the time. And you're given like a perspective and it only guides you down a certain wormhole and algorithms will tend to critique you to one side or the other. So in order to get away with things, you have your normal Google account and you do a lot of what I like the fact that Google was mindful enough to do is allow you to search anonymously. So that algorithm is not conflicted with the same information, even though the same person can search from their desktop or phone. You can have that option of going, all right, well, what's the other side of this conversation? Like when you're presented with an idea and somebody explains their point of view and you're like, okay, that's that. All right, well, now let me find out about what the opposition to that opinion currently is saying.
It's really hard. I think we're in a weird place in information media where you pretty much just watch the thing that you agree with the most, which is really weird.
Well, the algorithm tends to also, because you only watch, in most cases, people aren't really searching information as much as they're searching their point of view.
Yeah, so funny. I mean, when I'm sitting here at home, I'll randomly turn on the news and it's CNN or it's MSNBC, and it's like they slam Trump all fucking day. And I'm like, damn, he must be like, if I were only looking at that.
Yeah, the purest of evils that has ever existed now is your U.S. president.
He must be about to get like burned out of office or something. What's going on? But I also think about what happened to me when I was, where was I? I think I was in Chicago. And not that Chicago, I mean, it's Illinois, it's not super conservative, right? But at the same time, for whatever reason, the hotel I was staying in had Fox Business News as like one of the only news channels available. And
oh, wow.
the morning,
those isolation areas are weird when you go into those, because there are certain places, and it is business dependent sometimes, to where you find out that you can't even access other information. We worry about what the government would do if they had control of that avenue, but then you find out that businesses individually take that kind of control, and you're like, holy shit.
Yes. So every time I would turn on this TV at my hotel, the default channel was Fox Business News. Default channel. And like, whatever, I didn't bother to change it. I was just getting ready, So this is around the time when Trump sent a letter to Nancy Pelosi and it read all weird. And I had read it earlier that morning and I was like, wow, I can't believe he actually sent this, whatever. But on Fox Business News, they were like, the genius of this letter, just the ethos of what this represents. And I'm like, did you read the same letter I did? Because I don't think you're...
hey, you know what?
Hands down.
To back up what you're saying, there is a meme going around right now, because, where everybody's fucking anti-government, whatever. There's a meme going around right now about our president calling him Mr. Transparency. Okay? Trump, the billionaire who hides his tax returns. The four of us sitting here and anybody out there who wants to chime in and chat or whatever, do you tell anybody what you fucking make? Is it anybody's business?
Actually, the Better Business Bureau and the Employment Security Commission of the United States says that I am not in any way, shape, or form obligated to have this conversation with anybody.
And in case you don't know the history of it, it has been like complimentary for a president to share his tax returns. Go fuck yourself. I know, and nobody needs to see my tax returns.
Well, he's also not the first president to not be willing to go that route either. So that was another thing where they were like, oh.
Okay, Trump, the genius who hides his college grades. Is that something you I got to, here's my diploma. Here's my diploma. See my diploma? I got one right here. Here's my diploma.
I don't know. In an age of where people paid for diplomas, so there's already a level of discredit that's being thrown, especially at Ivy League schools,
I
for
have
this.
never applied. I have never applied for a job in my entire life where they told me they couldn't hire me unless I could prove my GPA was more than a 3.4.
Yeah, no shit.
You got a fucking diploma, that's all that matters. Trump, the businessman who bankrupts casinos.
Or
that-
doesn't pay his workers. Like, there's a long laundry list of
History of
This
him
stuff
just
that-
not paying people.
of
and-
solid dishonesty with the guy.
Yeah.
But
This statement of a businessman who bankrupts casinos is utter bullshit because A, who gives a fuck? B, the law is set up that way. And if you can figure out how to run a business and take it to $1 billion and pocket all the profit and then walk away from it as it crumbles and not pay a dime, you, sir, are a business fucking genius.
oh yeah, no, he is the master manipulator of all of the systems that have been put in place. We're not in any way saying that like he's a total dumbass.
Trump, the playboy who pays for sex.
Hey, you know that Trump has a fully decked out designed paint job in iRacing?
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
It is the Trump
2020?
2020
Yeah. It's 2020. Sure. I would too.
paint job. Now, it's not a Trump and Pierce paint job.
Right.
There is a rumored suspicion that when he runs that Pence may not be his running mate.
That'd be all right.
Really?
That'd be all right. I mean, the vice president really don't fucking matter anyway when it comes to the public eye.
Why-
Wouldn't
why
he be one of the first presidents ever though to change
I don't know.
VPs?
I would think the answer to that would be no. No one else has ever done that. But I
Like that's
There's
but
nothing
you
prohibiting him
want to
from
talk about look, dude, this dude wants to make history. Anything he does, he wants to make history. And I see him and hear the rumor and think that yeah, that makes sense. That would be something that this guy would do because it
What
would
does
be
that
one
mean?
more notch. It would be one more notch on the bedpost, belt loop, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It would just be one more notch. And this is a
Okay.
guy who's known for notches.
For meaningless notches? like changing your vice president for
Hold
no
on.
reason at all?
To you, it is meaningless.
Yeah, so it is.
To him, to him, it is another notch. It meant something, so he noted it. To him,
what
it
does
is that.
mean? What is the meaning of it? Like, what does it
Well,
mean?
I mean, we would see if he approaches his next campaign with the balance that he tried to propagate with the first one. Pence was a diehard grab into the heart of the Republican Party.
Yes,
Jefferson.
true. That's why he chose him, I believe.
Right. And so
Yeah.
the question is Trump the guy who's going to be like, all right, well, so what it wants. Do I got the balls to go out and kick this motherfucker out of the way because he's aggravating the shit out of me while I go grab... Who the fuck could I grab? I'm sure I can find... And he'll find a lady. He may pull fucking Sarah Palin out of the woodworks.
Oh my God,
And
imagine.
and this would be like, watch me win.
He might just win, unfortunately. I don't know about.
Right now, stats wise, it's a weird. He's in a weird spot for me politically when I look at like the arcing storyline. Like he went into coronavirus pretty strong, and he's got a bunch of shit that's been talked about him the entire time. Coronavirus has really hit him in some weird ways for some dumb statements, which has kind of flipped his image here and there and everything else. But I think coming out the other side, I don't think the Democratic Party owned up to what their responsibility was. If they truly felt that they didn't want another Trump, they needed to get an anti-Trump, and I just don't think that they executed that with Biden. So, Democratic National Convention, if we get to see one before the election, will be an interesting statement piece in the entire commitment of things, because we'll find out whether or not the party commits to Biden completely, because a lot of people have spoke out and said that they support him. But I think it was just kind of all a pre-COVID, what's going on, shelter in place. We need this guy. And then the longer it's gone on, there's allegations behind him. There's questions of like his mental capacity. There's, like I said, the sexual allegations. And then
that's a big one.
Yeah, what is that guy going to be able to do with that? Like, I don't know if he has the faculties to even contain and maintain and proceed with the type of information that's been put out about him. Trump handled it masterfully when he ran his campaign.
He did?
Grab it in the pussy? I mean...
Yeah, what did he do?
I mean, he was like, what? What? He literally, he was like, what? The whole time. He heard the statements, he totally disavowed them, and he kept fucking beating his path towards the path he was going. I don't think Biden's got the capability to come through that same situation with that same mentality, and I don't think the party wants any kind of representation that would agree to let that go on.
Yeah, I think he said what, but at the same time, that I'm not sure that that's brilliant.
Oh no, we're not saying brilliant, but it's master. It's a master. It's a master. Even even if he was a trash panda, he was a master trash panda. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I didn't say it was brilliant. I just said it was excellence of that style of execution.
Yeah, I get that. It's what I like to call the Rick Ross approach.
Yeah.
When everybody was like, "Hey, you're not really
Freeway Rick Ross
corrections officer. What's going on with all these songs you wrote about when you were in jail and all the stuff you did? That's not true." And what he did was he doubled down. His next album was like even worse. It was like,
I'm more of a coke dealing kingpin. What? Right. What? And like I said, there's an excellence in that execution, which, just because you're a master at something doesn't mean you're a master at good shit. I never claimed that it was a positive perspective on that. I was saying that he handled it excellently for what came at him. And I don't think Biden's got the mental facilities to deal with such a situation in such an expert manner. And even if he did, I don't think the party would allow that to continue.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution is, to be honest. Like,
you overthrow him at the convention, just like they were going to do with Bernie Sanders if he would have made it to the convention with only a partially secured vote.
Yeah, but then who is the person who runs?
The big rumor is you better be ready to lose your governor. The Democratic Party would love to thrust him up there.
Yeah, and he's already said 4 times, "Go fuck yourself. I have no interest."
Right. He keeps saying that. He keeps saying that. But when the convention comes, that's a different story. When the electorates put their fucking back on it, like that's a different story.
I can't see him being the man. Nobody gave a shit about Rudy Giuliani after 9/11, even though the entire world was like, "Oh, Giuliani for president." And then everybody forgot who's that guy in New York?
That's because Biden called it. That's because Biden called him on the bullshit in the primary and was like, "What?"
Wait, no, but I'm talking.
Yeah, I think it's a fool's errand.
Fucking 8 years ago. Okay,
I think the only way you can sit here and compare Cuomo to Giuliani is the fact that they were both something of New York. While Giuliani was the mayor of New York City, Cuomo's the governor of New York.
Right.
Okay. It doesn't.
Okay, so you're talking two different positions. It's a big jump to go from mayor to president.
Not when
It's
you've
not
got
that
the
big a jump to
world
go from
cap
governor to
Not when-
president.
not
Not
when the
when you
world-
have the backing. And I mean, and Cuomo's doing
Well-
all the right things that his party wants him to do by
Yeah,
sitting here
yeah,
and going,
it's weird.
What,
He's saying no, no,
what
no.
planet is this guy on? Like, he's literally calling out his quote-unquote boss, if you want to call it that, and dragging him to the carpet.
Yeah,
But he's doing it and making himself look like an asshole the whole way, though. That's what I don't understand. I mean,
How do you think the other side won the last election?
Well, yeah.
No
you made
fucks given, made himself look like an absolute asshole and pulled it off. And
Yeah,
not
well-
for anything, if you're gonna combat that type of mentality, Cuomo seems to actually have the mentality to go head to head with a Trump. Like,
You
it's
gotta
a
remember-
weird situation. Now, whether he would be the best guy for the job, I don't know. I don't know, because I don't have that much experience with him. I'm learning a
Yeah.
lot about him currently.
Right.
But under that same note, like, he's a guy who's kind of like, I could see a Democratic National Convention ushering him into a position that they've coached him to no, and be such the underdog, seize the moment, capture the convention, outseat fucking Biden, like, make this hero story out of him politically.
That would be crazy.
And
Imagine.
That's what they're
dude,
doing.
dude.
Well, look, Biden's only shot right now, and it seems to be working, is the fact that Alyssa Milano hasn't said a fucking word about Biden and supports him, and Rose McGowan is way too interested in Bill Burr or whoever the fuck it was.
Bill Burr, the
telling-
redheaded comedian?
No, the guy from Comedy Central. Rose McGowan was on his show. Not Bill Burr.
David
I forgot his
Spade?
name now. No. He had the talk show. Anyway, he told Rose McGowan what a big cock he had. It's all that shit's. You make me look this up right now, right?
Yeah, because all of us are like, what are you talking about, Webb?
Yeah.
Rose McGowan.
What porn parody did you watch this
no,
week?
No. Shit! How do I even search for this? How do I search this?
Cock, Rose McGowan.
Yeah, big cock, Rose McGowan.
cock.
I was thinking about that. Big cock.
Remember,
Big-
Google allows you to search anonymously. It won't fuck up your
Yeah.
it won't fuck up your shit, and it'll give you an honest perspective.
I don't.
It won't
See
just
that-
cater to your algorithm.
Bill Maher. Excuse me.
Oh
Bill-
yeah,
Bill Maher.
dude, poor Bill Maher. Even Trump tweeted about him today. That
Yeah.
was funny. He was
But
like, the show's been falling in ratings.
This is exactly what Biden needs: is the dead Me Too movement to focus on someone else beside his fucking. I'll touch anything, including a fucking alligator, in a sexual way if I want to.
Nah, too many people are talking about Biden and Kavanaugh together as a statement. That's not going to happen.
A piece of shit too, but
Well, no, we know Kavanaugh was a piece of shit. We know what the Democrats
That
brought
all-
to light about the entire thing. Everybody else had an opinion about that, but he
Yeah.
still became a chief justice.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
we're not talking about that, but we're talking about the ability for this guy to tread in that same water. So, like,
yeah. I did fact check, or at least I don't want to say fact check because no facts were put out there. Got the information.
oh no, this is us just shit talking.
1801, Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, you did say Jefferson earlier when we were talking about it. Yeah.
Okay, Thomas Jefferson was the first president to go back to back and have a different vice president.
Hmm.
But
What was the reasoning behind it? Because the
Thank
reasoning
you.
is probably
thank you. Back then, books, and it was the candidate who received the second greatest numbers of electoral votes.
that was
the vice
automatically the VP. The president didn't get to choose the VP.
Right. Now he Jefferson sought the support of the northern states in the election of the 1800s and recruited Aaron Burr from New York as his symbolic vice presidential running mate, hoping to get him enough votes to be, second.
Right,
Um,
right.
He didn't get enough, and George Clinton was his official running mate, but
The P-Funk
guy
All-Stars didn't come for 100 years later.
well, no, the guy he wanted, Burr, did find his place in history when he had a fucking duel with Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, yeah, it was the duel on the
Killed him
lawn.
dead in the state of New Jersey.
Yep, the duel on the lawn. I was going to say, that's actually local history for y'all.
Yes. Yep. Yes, it is. So Jefferson had a different vice president for his second term, and it had little impact on his campaign. James Madison succeeded Jefferson as president and also had a different running mate during his 8 years in office.
Okay.
Clinton ran as the vice presidential candidate and served until 1812 upon his death. So he won his second reelection in 1812 with Elbridge Gerry from Massachusetts. Don't know who that is. The only other person who holds the record with 3 vice presidents,
Theodore Roosevelt.
different, would be Franklin Roosevelt. FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He actually served 4 terms, but on the 4th one died. He had 3 different vice presidents. And law was written in, I believe, I just had that in front of me and now I don't have it. Damn it.
Yeah,
There was a
yeah.
law written in, it's part of the 12th Amendment as to electoral running mates. I don't have
Did they
front-
have to be partnered in advance of the campaign, or
I'm trying to, I just had it in front of me and now I don't
this
have
is
that.
also because we know that this is a voting year. This has been the weirdest political charge towards that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's gonna be real interesting because Biden isn't really a candidate that I personally think anybody who opposes Trump wants to vote for.
Not for anything, Biden is almost going to be forgotten by the time the
Yeah.
election rolls around.
I think he'll be pushed out for a new
because
candidate.
he's not social. Even during all of this, like, yes, okay, we've got one president that tweets way more than he should, but we've got a presidential candidate that really doesn't have a social presence.
We have a president who tweets outside of the POTUS account way more than he should.
No, I mean, he just
Yeah.
tweets in general way more than he
He's
should.
one of the first. I mean, look, Barack Obama.
The one that really uses it as his main account.
Yeah, Barack Obama's
Obama had a POTUS account, and then he had a personal account.
right. His
But-
personal account was very minuscule compared
Yeah.
to the, and we all know that he's not behind the POTUS account. That's your Secretary of State and all sorts of other shit putting out information. Blah 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 blah.
Well,
Well,
it was your press secretary until she got COVID, but
Right, but
Whenever it was written, oh, you mean Trump?
no, I was. We were just joking in general. But Obama's Twitter timeline was very minuscule, very scarce.
Yeah, and obviously he wasn't personally running it all the time.
Which
Like
made me-
whenever it was him, it was signed or something like that.
Right, yeah,
You
yeah.
could see whenever it was that.
actually, one of my favorite Twitter follows is the Obama photographer, the photographer that was the guy.
Oh,
That's such a great account.
beautiful.
It
right?
is. It's amazing.
What scared the shit out of me is when Obama was president and we would have talks and shit like that. He followed me on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
Webb voiced a great deal of concern at the moment that happened. He was like, "This is probably not going to be a good thing."
It's not
And that's when Webb left Twitter.
Yeah,
pretty-
he did kind of
yeah.
go into isolation after that. Like you
I
thought,
forgot the president.
you thought COVID started in 2020. Nah, Webb was on that shit well long ago, socially isolating a long time ago.
And the current president of the United States is following your personal Twitter account. Have a nice day, Twitter. I'm out. I don't trust that shit because one wrong move and there could be fucking Secret Service at my door.
Yeah, it's cool to have certain blue check marks hit your line where you're like, hey, look, a blue check mark, follow me, and then you get the president, and you're like, nope.
Yeah, that was
No,
that was kind of.
I don't know what incurred that moment.
So, yeah, so
Like,
there were
because I am nobody, so if I got the president following me, I'm kind of done.
So there were a couple of presidents, a handful, that actually had a different running mate for their 2 terms, whether it be no fault of their own.
Okay,
or
so
the
this wouldn't be
system set
wouldn't
up.
be a record-setting moment for him to change things. Politically,
But what would it do politically, though? Like,
yeah,
what would
politically, does it right now suit him to keep Pence? Like,
Well,
would it keep his other half of his electorate kind of underneath where they want them? Like,
Does anybody here know what Pence has done for this country at all?
well,
And I don't.
the sad reality of being a vice president?
Right. I don't mean that in like rhetorical or
No,
or
you're
trying
right.
to
Like-
demean anybody's political stature or knowledge. But does anybody really know what the fuck? Can you name?
we
who was
know more
vice
about.
president 4 terms ago?
Hold on, we know more about the projects put in place by the first lady than we do about legislation that was dealt
Mhm.
with by the vice president.
The only thing I know about the vice president right now is that he refuses to wear a mask.
As does the
That's
president.
not true.
What else do I know?
Well, I'm saying that's
Hold on.
also not true though. You know, he didn't wear a mask at one location,
Right.
and that was touted up to the front of some news lines. But then there are several other places that he's visited that he's had a mask on at all of those locations. So
Yeah, it's all bullshit. I mean,
yeah,
I only
well,
know-
it's just both sides of the story is all
Now,
it
maybe
is.
it's my fault that I don't know what our vice president does because I'm not really following any of that. I'm really not even following what the first lady is doing, and that's something I always have.
I think that's not
It's
your
like-
fault. That's the sad reality of being the vice president. Nobody really knows what the fuck the vice president's doing.
Yeah.
All we know is if the president gets sick or is incapacitated in some way, we have the vice president to take over.
Well,
That's really the job of the vice president.
The VP is also a bit of a novelty during the presidency as well, where like Cheney got himself in the news by shooting a buddy of his in the face.
Wait, fucking-
There was the potato spelling incident with a previous Quayle. You know, Quayle had the problem with that. Al Gore's global warming tirade of and
I would
and
say-
like
Don't forget, he created the internet too.
right, creating the internet
was
and
a very specific kind of vice president. There was some arguments in place that there were some people who claimed that in that specific presidency, the vice president had more power than the president.
well,
Like in
that he was making more of the decisions. Yeah.
yeah,
Right. And that Cheney was a very stern individual to deal with.
right.
But that was coming into a lot of knowledge. Like, so Obama handled his well with putting Biden in place, and that's, I think, the meekness that was given to Biden in that scenario is
Mhm.
what has got him where he's at right now, where he doesn't have the strength of candidacy that people can rally behind, because he was kind of a in the shadows VP.
Yeah, that's true. And I also don't see what really makes him better than the other
Here's
candidates.
here's the job of the vice president. You ready for this?
Oh,
Okay.
he's supposed to sit in, which is it, the House or the Senate?
The Senate.
Yeah, he just sits
Yeah.
in there and goes, "Yep."
No. He don't say yup or nothing. He only the vice president. The Constitution gives the vice president the role of presiding over the Senate and voting in the Senate only if there is a tie.
Yep.
And it happened once, right? This like last year when they were, what were they
Yeah.
voting? in Cuba?
Yes, you're absolutely correct. It did happen. It was. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year, 18 months ago, which put it
Yeah.
put
They
it
were,
into the
they
year
had
before.
a bill they were introducing, and the House was like, and the House and the Senate was not in agreement. So he had to come in and place the tie-breaking vote.
Yep.
The VP's only other formal responsibility, meaning your entire fucking job description, your only other responsibility is to take over for the president if the current president dies.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
That's it.
really, that's the role of the vice president. Like, if the president is incapacitated, or whatever,
Catastrophic failure of the democracy, then you're number 2. And that's why we have a chain of command too, though, that goes, what is it, like, we're like 21 people deep into what
Didn't
we
you ever watch Designated Survivor?
No, but we're like
He was the Secretary of Education, and he was now president.
Right,
Because he was
'cause-
the last guy in line.
One more thing I
I
want to
can't
say.
remember what the number was though, like between how many we have defined currently
well, it's
with,
okay. So
with
vice
legislation in
president,
place, because there is a chain of command, and it is
Speaker of the House, right? Who's the Speaker of the House right now? It's Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, that's stupid fucking bitch, but yeah,
She's not stupid.
she's a fucking idiot.
Very shrewd.
She's the reason why I believe there should be term limits in
Yeah,
Congress.
I mean, I don't want to say this on air, but she should be fucking. Someone should take her out or shoot her in the fucking head. She's an idiot. She's an absolute fucking idiot who has no business being involved in our government anymore. Too old, too fucking stupid.
I don't think she's stupid. I think she's super shrewd, and I don't.
All she wants to do, all she's interested in doing is tickling Trump's balls in a way that pisses him off. Everything that comes out of her mouth is all about trying to destroy the president. And nothing I ever hear come out of her mouth is for the good of the general public. Never hear it. It's always, what can I do to piss Donald Trump off today?
Or what special interest group can I give money to?
Yes. And where am I going to get my next fucking speaking gig from for $80,000? Let me mention fucking Pfizer Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, she's proven herself to be a diehard, true, for real politician.
Yeah, she is. I'll agree with that.
Hey,
Like,
one more thing I wanted to
did
say.
you, if you go back and look at the bill that was passed where everyone got their $1,200 stimulus check, and you go look at the pork that she put into that bill, you wouldn't feel the way you feel about her.
Please, $35
She
million.
gave $35 million to the
Lincoln Foundation, which already gets $666 million a year. Please, Pelosi, please stop. That woman is no good for our political system.
Well, I'd
And
say a lot
here-
of the representatives that are in place currently are probably not real good for our political system. It is time that we make a lot different decisions than what we've made previously. And whether somehow some genius comes along with some write-in and goes,
Elon
"Hey,
Musk.
well, no, he's in a real weird situation right now too. So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to be part of that conversation as far as like what his plans are.
He's crazy.
Well, he's very eccentric.
Yeah.
I will say that some of the things I hear, I understand are only coming out of a billionaire's head, that during the free time that he has, while not running several multi-million, billion-dollar companies, trying to get to Mars and other shit. Like,
Yeah.
I understand in his free time, like, the moments of clarity that he gets to reflect on are probably pretty fucking bizarre.
Yeah. True. And he just had a son, and they named them some weird shit.
Well, his
Like-
his wife provided the first name, which is
A12.
X.
A12?
No.
X12?
The first name. No, shut the fuck up and let somebody say something. The first name is X with the AE
Right.
combination, which Elon says is pronounced Ash. So
Yeah.
it's X Ash, and A12 is the last part of this name, and it's because of search on Google. The A12 project is part of the Blackbird.
It's the predecessor to the SR-71, right?
Right. It's a stealth technology aircraft, long range bomber, and he has so much respect for it. It means so much to him aeronautically that was the reason he chose A12 as his contribution to the name. And but that's some eccentric billionaire shit. You only expect a guy that has that type of shit going on in his head to come out and go, "This is my kid's name."
Yeah, but A12 also is Archangel. So it's his
Well,
name
that
is
was the project. That was the
XX.
project. It was
Right.
The project was Archangel. A12 was in the Archangel project.
So the kid's name is X Ash Archangel. That's his name.
Essentially, that would be his name.
That's what
when
they-
it's pronounced theoretically.
That's what they agreed upon. That's what him and his girlfriend. That's it.
Well, no, they agreed that it's A12.
Well, no. She came out 2 days ago. It's X.
Well, she also doesn't say. She doesn't say. She also didn't originally say that AE was Ash either. So
Right. But they finally agreed upon that. I guess he beat it into her head eventually. I don't
Dude,
know.
after he went on Joe Rogan and said Ash, and people said that that's not the way it was supposed to be said, there was definitely a conversation.
I wanted to wrap up this comment on the vice president and the Senate. The vice president has rarely even been involved with the Senate in the last 7 presidential terms.
Well, yeah.
So basically the vice president does nothing unless the president can't be there, and then you send the vice president. Oh, I thought it was going to be Donald. I'm really sorry. Here's Mike Pence. Donald couldn't make it today, so here's the vice president. Does anybody know? Because I definitely want to go to a break before we wrap up.
Well, you
45.
You got a 10 o'clock guest.
Yeah, it's 10:14. So where's that guest? Or 10:17. Overall, what we've had 40. This is the 45th president, right?
45th. Yep.
45. How many vice presidents have become president? Anybody have an idea?
I'm
or
gonna
can
say.
Name a few.
I'm gonna say 8, and no, I'm not.
Okay, 8. I'll take that. That's fine.
If I could probably tell you some, maybe not all, that were vice presidents that became presidents.
If you could look at a list, I would say you'd probably be able to name 6, maybe.
6 of how many? Because I said 8.
I'm not telling you that yet. How many people? How many vice presidents?
Well,
have
now
become-
everybody knows that it's more than 6, dickhead.
Didn't say that. I said I would give you 6 of the 8. I think you could name 6 of your 8.
Oh.
How many VPs become president, J7? Get off Google. Come on.
I'm gonna go with probably I'm gonna go with 10.
Okay, Ren.
Could you possibly name those 10, or where do you feel you're at with that?
Yeah, could you name a couple of them?
A couple. Okay.
I just got back. What's the question?
Question is, how many vice presidents have gone on to be presidents?
Oh, damn.
And
Okay,
of
think
those,
about that.
with
And
the
could you
follow-up
name-
question, of those that you're projecting to say how many of that number do you think you could possibly name? And I did put the stipulation in place. If I was looking at a list of presidents, then I could probably tell you the ones I thought were vice presidents that became presidents, based off my number.
Okay, so Theodore Roosevelt was definitely one of them, right? Because he was the vice president.
You are correct.
Yeah, to the current.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah, and then Lyndon Johnson, right? Because of
Can we get Ren's numbers?
Yeah, what's Ren's numbers? What do you think, Ren? How
Yeah.
many? She gave you 2 right off the bat that are correct.
What was her number?
10.
Hers is 10. Mine's 8. Webb says I could possibly name 6 of my 8.
By the way, even though I know the answer, I originally would have answered this question with 5.
I'm gonna say 9.
Okay.
I'm gonna put myself in the middle of those 2.
Okay. So everybody stay off the Google. Don't go there.
Okay.
So we've got you said it's Teddy Roosevelt
Teddy Roosevelt and Lyndon Johnson.
and Lyndon B. Johnson.
Yeah.
You can throw in there George Bush.
George Bush.
Yep.
Okay, that is correct. That's
Vice president?
He
was vice president to Ronald Reagan.
Yep.
He what? Oh, senior. Okay, sorry.
Well, no, there's George W. and then there's George H.W.
Yeah, so George H.W., right?
Senior, yes.
Herbert Walker Bush.
Yeah, it's still
What a
senior.
great name. George Herbert Walker.
It's like a baseball.
Bush.
It's like a fucking 1940s baseball player. Now
Yeah,
batting.
now
Michael
batting.
Miss George fucking Johnson.
His name alone harkens to a time of long ago. When you see, like, it was pronounced, like, when people talk about him, they're like, oh, what do you mean? H.W.? He's just identified by his 2 middle initials. They don't even
we've
call
got-
him by his first or his last name. They're like,
right,
what,
H.W.
H.W.?
What's up?
Yeah, yo, what up, H-Dub?
Like, what? How the hell? Only if you have
H-
4 names
H
can you
to the
be
W.
2 middle initials.
True that. So, all right, so we got 3. Anybody else want to throw another name in the hat?
It's one of our first 16 up in there.
Okay.
One of those guys,
Probably.
if not 2 of those guys within our first 16. And I can't name them, but if I was looking at the list, I'd be like, this guy.
Oh, Nixon.
You are correct.
Eisenhower's vice president.
Right, so
Yes.
that's 4.
4. You are correct.
Okay.
Do you want the list? Does anybody else got another name?
Well,
to
no,
throw?
I want the number.
I will give you both.
Well, yeah, but first we want the number. She's already named 4, so that puts 4 as a solid.
I
We're-
gave 1.
We're at,
Yes. We got a 4. We're good at 4.
yeah, so we're
Bush, we're good at 4.
at
number.
8, 9, 10.
The number is 14.
Oh.
That's
All right,
right.
so 7 wins by default by not going over.
Now, depending on how you want to slice it and dice it, although I could not have named the 5 vice presidents that I thought became presidents, only 5 were elected to the presidency.
All the rest assumed it through medical illness or assassination.
Y'all forgot about Gerald Ford right off the bat.
Yeah, and literally
I
you
think
do.
there's another one that I think
You
I
do
forgot
forget about
too.
Ford because Ford was such a blip in the radar.
I haven't looked this one up, but I know of one president, and there might be more than one.
Go ahead.
But there is definitely one vice president who later became president but served under 2 presidents, and that's Calhoun.
He's up there in your top 20s, though, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's not in your
John-
top 16. I think he falls down into the 20s.
John James,
Calhoun or you?
John Calhoun?
Coolidge. Who do you? Calhoun. Look that up. See what's. Look that up because I don't know. That name's not
Well,
on
it
my
would
list.
be a list of presidents.
Yeah.
Like all 45.
Overall, 14 vice presidents have gone on to become presidents.
Out of 45 people who have held the job, 14 of those people held the job that we consider not as important.
Right.
Now think,
John-
put the decimals on that one.
John Adams.
John
George,
Adams. Yes.
Yeah, John Adams is an early adopter.
Yeah.
George Bush, Thomas Jefferson,
Yeah, Jefferson was another early adapter.
not the DJ, Martin Van Buren, although that's where he got his name from.
Van Buren got his from assassination, didn't he?
Nope, 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 nope. nope.
What was? How did Van Buren actually get elected?
Yup. And Richard Nixon are the only presidents to be elected president after running as a VP.
Mm.
Oh, but
Andrew-
now Van Buren was during the time pre the amendment, so he was second best when he became VP and later became best.
When did he run? No, he was president in 1837. 1837 to 1841, Martin Van Buren.
All right, so when was the law? When was the amendment put in place?
That I don't know. That's what pisses me off. I have
Because
information, and
is he the crossover guy? Is he the guy? Is he the guy who got elected and they were like, wait a second, maybe we should just let them pick their VP.
He's actually a founder of the Democratic Party, and he was the first president to not speak English as his native language. That I know from fucking high school. The 5 presidents who
And
have
and
gone-
not for anything, Webb, you know one is Van Buren and one is Van Braun.
Yeah, I guess is it would
Well,
you-
no, the current DJ is Martin Van Braun.
oh, Van Braun spelt the same
Well,
way,
it's
though,
spelled the
isn't it?
same, but it's
Yeah.
he pronounces it different. Van Buren is an old English pronunciation of it that they don't even use internationally anymore.
Disambiguous. How about that? There's a word for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, my bad on that one.
Well, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But you hit them exact. But when you made the DJ reference, I was like, oh wait, you know he's Martin Van Braun, right? I was like,
John
they-
Adams, George Bush.
it's spelled the same, pronounced different.
Thomas Jefferson, Martin Van Buren, Richard Nixon, only vice presidents elected to presidency after serving as a VP. Andrew Johnson, Lyndon B. Johnson, Teddy Roosevelt, Harry S. Truman, John Tyler. Don't even know what fucking number president he was.
I forgot about Truman being VP.
Huge. And Truman's a big.
He would,
fucking
yeah,
political
and he
stand-
was a big crossover. But I forgot when I was thinking of like people, I would not have picked him off the list. So he would have definitely been, if 6 out of 8, he would have been one of those 2 that I would have like skipped over.
Chester A. Arthur, Calvin Coolidge, Millard Fillmore, and Gerald R. Ford all assumed the presidency after the president either died of a natural death, assassinated, or resigned.
Where was Fillmore from?
I would have to look that up. Give me a second, or someone else beats me to it. I want to say isn't he the only fucking president to come out of like Delaware or some shit like that? Millard Fillmore was the 13th president, a member of the Whig Party, a representative of New York.
Interesting.
Right. I should have known that because I just looked this up the other day. He is one of the few. I think there's only been 2 presidents to ever come out of the state of New York. He was born and raised in New York. Moravia, New York is where he was born and died in Buffalo at the age of 74. He's a purebred New Yorker.
Yeah, no shit.
He's one of 3, I think, if I remember correctly, after doing this research, one of 3 presidents to come out of the New York region. Nobody gives a shit about anybody out of New York in politics.
Well, they make these grandiose big splashes that make like national attention on a regular basis, but not generally on national political level.
Mm.
That's like there's so much national news everywhere else out of New York that their political structure kind of gets overshadowed in the rest of the country because you know so much about the money, the sports, there's so much stuff. New York City by itself, there are so many things that just trump the idea of the political system in New York that it takes like a 9/11 or a COVID for national attention to be focused on the political aspects of what happens in New York State or New York City.
Politically,
do you know how many of these presidents
Yeah,
on
politically, yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Martin Van Buren. We mentioned him in the list of 14, right?
Yes.
Millard Fillmore. Mentioned him in the list. Theodore Roosevelt. Did we mention him? Yeah, we did. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Did we mention him?
Yes.
What's in the list of 14?
Yeah, we thought that was one of the first ones I mentioned.
Was it FDR or no? Theodore. You said
No,
Teddy
well,
Roosevelt. Okay, so we never mentioned FDR. Martin Van Buren, Millard Fillmore, Teddy Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and of course Donald Trump have all resided in New York.
Yeah,
Born
they are all residents.
So that's
And
five.
Hillary during her time, if she would have gotten elected, tried to take the New York roadmap.
Oh, fuck that. We would have thrown her out of here.
Well,
No.
she attempted to take the New York roadmap to be president.
Virginia.
She where she essentially moved to the area and became a political member of New York State before she went to run for president.
She took residency here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
and not for anything, when she did it, New Yorkers bitched.
Yeah.
They were like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Well, no, the Clinton Foundation was here for a while.
Yeah, but I'm saying politically, they were like, "Hillary, who the fuck are you trying to come in here and just fucking mandate? Like this is your home. We like you. We're gonna elect you, but don't act like this is home."
Right. Yeah.
New York has been home to 5 presidents. I didn't realize it was that many. That's interesting. New
5 out of
Jersey
45.
New Jersey has had 1 for 2 terms. Anybody want to take a guess on some others? Who's got the most presidents coming out of one state?
I'm gonna say Pennsylvania is probably high on the list of presidential, and I'm gonna say Virginia may have some.
Okay. J7?
I don't know. The
What do you think?
And Connecticut may be up in that conversation too.
Ren, jump in here. What are you thinking?
like I wanna say
Georgia.
Yeah, or maybe Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Thump, you said Pennsylvania first.
I said Pennsylvania, Virginia, and Connecticut.
Pennsylvania won. James Buchanan,
Okay.
1857.
So that's not at the top of the list.
No, that's not. the top of the list. Actually, your state does better than Pennsylvania. At least
Yeah,
North
yeah.
Carolina is
No,
two.
when you said one, I was like, oh no, well, we're ahead of that. So
James K. Polk and Andrew Johnson all came out of North Carolina. One of them real close to Thump in Raleigh.
that was Polk, wasn't it?
No, Andrew Johnson, Raleigh. Polk was in Pineville.
That's actually closer to me, isn't it?
Oh, is it? Okay. Someone mentioned Virginia.
I did.
Okay, Virginia. Virginia is right in front of Ohio.
Ooh, nobody rolled with Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio's Ulysses L. Grant. That's one. Rutherford B. Hayes. That's two.
Oh, fucking Rutherford B. Hayes.
James A. Garfield is 3. Benjamin Harrison is 4. I believe he died in office. I'm not sure. William McKinley is 5. William H. Taft is 6. Warren G. Harding is 7. 7 presidents.
Ohio, calm down. No wonder they talk about. No wonder when you hear the political conversation going on TV, when they talk about it's all decided in Ohio, the presidents go. If you don't win in Ohio, you don't win.
Yep.
Like, is their numbers stacked to lean that you better have that Ohio going on?
Well, you got to remember, Virginia's in that conversation too. So Virginia, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison. We've seen a pattern.
Yeah, but these are all founders though.
This is like everybody who signed the Declaration here. James Monroe, William Henry Harrison. Can't even tell you what president he was. Ninth president. That's 5, right?
Yeah, these are starting to sound just like a bunch of founders.
Zachary Taylor.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. John Tyler. That's 7. And coming in at the top of the list, number 8. 8 presidents from one state. The 28th president of the United States, Woodrow Wilson. So Virginia got the most. I'm a little shocked by that. Massachusetts has 4.
Well,
So
I'm not necessarily shocked by that. When you talk about like the reason I mentioned Pennsylvania is because there's a correlation of where our capitals were argued to be placed.
Right.
Pennsylvania being an area where it was argued for a while that this is where it should be. Then there was a little bit of a rift up that way, and it moved it a little bit further south to be more spread out amongst the colonies. And so it wouldn't surprise me that a lot of the original like presidents of that era would all claim to be from that region.
How about this one? Here is a fucking. You can try this one in a bar, spin it any way you want. Next time you're in a bar, there's one state that has had 2 presidents who have had the same name and come from the same town.
George Clinton.
We want the funk. Gotta have that funk. There is one state that has had 2 presidents with the same name, born in the same fucking town, be president.
South Carolina.
No. J7.
Oh, where was Connecticut on that other list?
George W. Bush.
Florida.
Florida. No. Anybody else want to take a stab?
Where was Georgia on that other list? Because
no,
Ren had Georgia.
No Georgia.
No, not this list. That list. No presidents from Georgia. Period.
No presidents from Georgia. Period.
Oh.
I just looked. That's what I was.
New York.
New York. Good try, but no. Hold on. I just hit my sort.
It's New Hampshire, not New York.
It was Massachusetts. No. Oh, fuck. I resorted my shit the wrong way, you motherfucker. Okay, here it is.
User error.
I'm sorry. Massachusetts.
Massachusetts
has had 2 presidents with the same name, born in the same town of Braintree, Massachusetts. Their names were John Adams. The second president of the United States, John Adams, was born in Braintree, Massachusetts. The sixth president of the United States, John Quincy Adams, born in Braintree, Massachusetts. By the way, both born on March 14th. I mean, both obviously president on March 14th.
Question. They also, the irony of their story is that they were not related.
Right, not related at all. Come from two different sections of town, no family.
Totally different sections of like family residence.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, I think I've heard the Adams things before, but the real quirk to it was the fact that not only did these two guys become president from the same town, but also they weren't related. It was, you would have thought these two guys with the same name possibly may have been related, especially coming from the same town, and it was like, nope.
I'll close this conversation. I'll give you the states that presidents have come from, and I'll just name the states. If you want to know what president it is, you call it out. Arkansas,
Clinton,
California,
Schwarzenegger,
Reagan. Yeah, absolutely right. Connecticut.
You said earlier, Bush.
Yes.
Which one?
W.
W.
Yes, I
Bush.
just
Yeah.
gave it to you. Sorry, George. Georgia. Oh, I'm sorry, Ren. Georgia had one president. You are correct. That's right. One. The peanut farmer.
Oh, that's right.
Jimmy Carter.
Completely forgot about that and overlooked it. I apologize.
Yo,
Hawaii
it's because
had
Jimmy
one
Carter
president.
never sounded like he come from Georgia.
I know, right? What a massive peanut farmer. Thanks to him, we still have Planters peanuts. Hawaii, one president.
Really?
What are you going to say, Barack Obama?
There you go. Illinois. Or Illinois.
Use guys.
No one? Ronald Reagan. Iowa.
Wait, how can Ronald Reagan be California and Illinois?
He was born in Illinois.
Okay, so he doesn't
He
get
was
California.
governor of California.
Yeah, he was governor of California, born in Illinois, and the roots deep in Chicago. That I do know.
Weird for an actor.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly, right? Well, maybe not. You're going to fucking born wherever you want. You're going to go to New York or California to...
Illinois also goes to, what, Abraham Lincoln?
No. Nope. Illinois is the only president I have on record being born there is Ronald Reagan.
I thought, like, the land of Lincoln is Illinois.
Abraham Lincoln, we'll get there. We're not there yet. I'll tell you where he was born.
He's one of those He's one of those northern fucking Indiana fucks. I already feel this.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Anyone? And nope, not saying that was him. Iowa. Anyone want to take a guess? That's one president come out of Iowa.
Taft.
Good call. Herbert Hoover. Kentucky. Abraham Lincoln. Massachusetts, we know, had 4 presidents. We named them before. Missouri had 1. Nebraska had 1. Missouri, by the way, is Truman. Nebraska is Ford. New Hampshire.
Ford, what a fucked up presidency.
And he come from Omaha, Nebraska, too. I wonder
Martin
if he's
Van Buren is McKinn from Vermont.
New Hampshire had 1. New Jersey 1, serving 2 terms. New York, we already said 5.
That
North Carolina.
That is from Southern Yankee.
Oh, okay. Ohio, we talked about before at 7. Pennsylvania, 1. James Buchanan. South Carolina. I mean, fuck. You got a Confederate flag on your goddamn Providence there in South Carolina. That would be Andrew Jackson.
Yep.
Texas has had 2 presidents. Anyone want to take a shot at that one?
One was a Bush and the other one was not.
No Bush. The other one was not a Bush. I would have thought Bush also, but no Bush.
Yeah, I thought one of the two was a Bush.
No Bush. This shocked me when I just eyed this before. 34th and 36th President of the United States, 1953 to 1961. Dwight D. Eisenhower.
Yeah, I knew he was a Texas guy.
Denison, Texas, and Lyndon B. Johnson from 1963 to 1969.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's actually the whole
Stonewall.
That's the whole Kennedy alignment shit that they talk about.
Yep. Vermont has had 2 presidents. Probably the reason why Bernie won't have come out of there.
One of which is Martin Van Buren.
No, Chester A. Arthur and Calvin Coolidge. Virginia has the rest.
There's a family member in chat here that says that Martin Van Buren was from Vermont.
He may have presided at some point there, but he was not born there. Martin Van Buren was born in New York.
We had this conversation earlier.
Yeah. Why did I fucking have this data in front of me, right? Yeah. Born in New York, 8th president of the United States. All right, he was the first president to speak other than English. He was the 9th governor of New York and the 10th United States Secretary of State. Just probably when he fucking moved somewhere. 1836 presidential election. After that, I don't know much.
All right.
I didn't look up much information.
Well,
a few, but interesting to see where your presidents come from and why Hillary never had a shot and why fucking Biden will fail when he picks a woman as his vice president, because that's not going to work. Woman either needs to be president or nothing. Country needs to change like that, without a doubt. Hey, Bros, Tuesday. Anybody got any parting words besides bye, Jim?
Bye, Jim. And like the highways here, even on my way to work, say stay home, stay safe.
Oh, Ren, have you been out on the roads? Have you seen what they're putting up on them signs on the expressway?
I was at the rest area yesterday.
What did it say?
I did not pay attention on the way there. Oh, caught speeding, mandatory court appearance.
Oh, no. Okay. The new COVID ones. The other day it said, don't tailgate cars or people. And it took me like 3 days to understand that. All right, I get it. Not tailgate cars, but tailgate people. What the fuck does that mean? It's like, oh, stay COVID free, you asshole, and don't be within 6 feet. Don't tailgate.
That's right.
You're right.
Get off their ass.
What was the other one on the don't be stupid, knucklehead? That was on the signs on the expressway the other day.
Don't be stupid. Stupid is one of the highest selling T-shirts on the internet currently.
Oh. Okay, I'm surprised knucklehead isn't like a big fucking deal with our governor. That's his new term, don't be a knucklehead. Don't be stupid, knucklehead.
Quick, coin it. Make T-shirts. Go.
Right? And I can't remember what the third one was, and IDK didn't come down for her cigarette break, so I would have asked her that because we've been reading them on
Wait a second. Is the tenant, getting very weary with her long days at work, and is the commute getting to her? That's what I really want to know.
Oh, no, things are going very well for the tenant because now they have Friday 3:30 virtual cocktail parties on Zoom.
Oh, fun.
My company does that too, so I can't knock it. We had a virtual Cinco de Mayo.
She's sitting here today drinking a Pabst Blue Ribbon hard coffee while on her meeting, and someone else has got something. They go off the meeting and the phone rings. Bling, bling. She's like, what? Every week you've got a different cup. What are you drinking over there? And IDK is like, well, it's around lunchtime. And the other woman's like, yeah, mine's some wine. I got wine in my coffee mug. And then of course IDK is like, oh, you mean my travel mug? Yeah, that's Bloody Mary. Today it was like everybody's secretly doing this. Because you're home, you're drinking, you're drinking at work, you're having a beer or two or something. But now a lot of companies are just like, fuck it, 3:30 on a Friday, let's all party together. So this whole thing does have its benefits. I mean, it reminds me of the ARC days. Okay, I worked for a company where Fridays it was Beer Friday. Our bosses would go to the store and buy 6 different 6-packs of beer, and we would all stay at work and drink, and it was their way of getting us to like work longer, have a good time at work, hang out and work longer. And that shit worked because we would stay there till like 7 o'clock just drinking. It was probably a bad idea how many people drove home drunk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember. I mean, Ren coming over a couple times, hanging out at the office, having a few beers, hanging out with Rich and us, and just chilling. And it's just bad idea.
I
Good idea.
apologize for walking away, but I
Yeah.
heard the uptick in conversation again. It was like, I gotta go drain the pool.
Yeah, right. Me too. I did the same thing. I did the same thing. All right, so 8-Bit Bros Tuesday, J7, as always. Thank you for coming by and hanging out. Although I don't need to say that, she's part of the show. My parting words for tonight will be: we lost an icon. Mary Pratt died this week.
Also, Little
100
Richard.
101 years old.
Also,
and if-
Little Richard. Also,
Little Rich.
another soul singer.
Yeah, Mary Pratt was a big one for me, though. It was the last living female professional baseball player.
I enjoyed my second day of work by going in wearing a Hofo hoodie, taking it off, and still having on a Hofo t-shirt. Because it was like, all right, little guy, this is how we're handling today. Based on yesterday, this is how we're handling today. You're going to hop on board. We are Team Hofo.
That's right.
Or it's not happening.
That is right.
And so we hopped on just in case anybody was wondering, and it looks like we'll be going back tomorrow.
I'll give you a fuck off to leave with. It's been 58 days since a New York pedestrian was fatally struck by a moving vehicle in New York City. It is the longest standing amount of time that there has not been a car pedestrian fatality since they started keeping records in 1983. Yes, I am the master of useless information.
That's why you have the name of Statman Extraordinaire, and why
That's
I
right.
will be also going into work tomorrow wearing my DFS Fantasy Foreplay shirt.
Look, I'm contributing. We are helping. I am helping contribute to your daily attire now.
We
That's it.
need ironic shirts now, though.
I know. I want to get them embroidered though. I don't want to do print-ons.
Well, those are staff shirts, but
No, I got the woman who can sit there and just churn them out. All I got to do is buy the shirts and program the goddamn sewing machine because that person I have doesn't know how to do it.
Oh.
Wait,
That's right.
so they will sew them, but they don't know how to do that.
They don't know how to turn. I got to get specific artwork.
Yes.
They know how to. They know how to use the artwork for their machines, but every conversion of a JPEG or a TIFF has been a nightmare.
Oh, that's all right. Angry Dandelion has decided to dive into a logo remodeling.
Ooh.
And when we did that, we commissioned a guy.
Okay.
And we were like, this is what we'd like. This is where we're at. We would like this, but not actually this.
Right.
We want something that kind of brings this, but not quite this abruptly.
I can understand that.
And we were issued a Photoshop of exactly what we had.
Oh.
Oh.
With certain details left out, but not all of the details left out that we wanted left out.
Oh.
And it was like,
Where did you find this guy?
Fiverr. No.
Fiverr?
No, that was a joke. He
No,
was-
no, actually, it was a Fiverr commission.
Fiverr's hit or miss.
Yeah, Fiverr is very hit or miss. And so this is one of those that maybe, like, because of what we commissioned, the timeline and everything else, we may just go ahead and kind of reject this one, leave a bad review, and move on.
No, make him do it again.
No.
I wouldn't. Because if he sent you that initially,
Yeah, this was 12 minutes in front of Photoshop, like type work.
yeah, maybe you just find someone else.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
people.
This was definitely we should probably move on moment, and I think there is going to be a consideration given, but it's very small. It's very small. Like this next window, it needs to be the immaculate, like conception, not a repeat, or it's gonna go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
They dealt with the nice guy the first time, but he's not agreed to be the nice guy the second time.
Yeah. I'm having so funny that you brought that up. I'm having such a so I've been building this website, and because of what I'm building, it has taken so long. It's taken like 5 months to do this website.
Okay.
And I don't understand why. Like it's driving me crazy because
Yeah.
like
Client?
I gave you all the information,
You say client?
didn't know that I mean I'm the client in this situation. So
Oh, so you're just nitpicking your own work.
well no, I'm working with an agency. So the agency is supposed to build
Right. She's building the website with this company, and
Oh, that's-
they're orchestrating what she wants done.
yeah.
But they're given apparently a majorly long timeline between accomplishing each conversational goal.
It's so stupid. It
Hey,
doesn't make
Jason.
any sense.
In J7, I built a website 90-day agreement. Site should have been done in 90 days. It took a year because the client kept like, well, yeah, but we want to do this. We want to add that. We want to do that. And well, the products we're going to sell are going to have 26 different ribbon combinations. But you've already told me you wanted 26 different font combinations. So now I got to build that module out so you can have multiple drop downs based on what it is you're fucking selling. After a year, I told the client, I'm done with you. They turned around and sued me for breach of contract.
Wow, that sounds crazy.
They sued me for breach of contract because the contract was originally a 90-day contract. We can do this in 90 days. Here's the outline you gave me. I can do that in 90 days.
Well, in my situation,
I hate
actually
working like that.
provided an outline. I provided all the information that should have been on the website.
Right.
Provided every illustration that should have been on the website. And then I had syncs with them for months where they would ask me questions and they would be like, yeah, I think we got this. And then I'm, maybe 2 months into the whole ordeal, I'm like, can I get a wireframe from you? Can I get some design mocks from you? Oh, no, don't worry. It's going to be fine. It's actually easier if we just build you an alpha site and send it your way, and then you can give us your feedback. Okay. All right. Sounds like you got it. You finally get it. It sucks so bad. Half of the stuff that should be on it is not on it. The design is like, I'm pretty convinced that the person who built it had never been to the website before and they used like a template or something. And I'm just like, okay, here are my issues with this site right now. So I take the doc that they gave me to document feedback and I give it to them and they're like, oh, well, yeah, so all these revisions that you want to make, we don't want to miss your deadline. So can you just tell us what are the most important changes we need to make so that we hit your deadline? I'm like, no, you need to make all of the changes because it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing right now. Oh, but we already used up a whole lot of the hours and, and the total amount stipulated in the contract. So
But
we don't want to go
doing
over.
what?
That's what I said. Can you give me a breakdown of what you spent all these hours on? Because this is not it, clearly. And then they send me a breakdown. And then I got really mad because it's like, oh, yeah, well, we had a sync that one day. And then we audited that. And I'm like, no, you didn't audit anything because I did that for you and handed it to you. And they were like, oh, well, anytime we need to reference materials that you send, that actually counts as work. I kid you not, I'm not working with these people ever again. And I'm literally like 2 days away from taking it from them and just doing it for them and then sending them the link to what I did so they can see what they should have done, because it's driving me crazy how terrible it is. Sorry, I just have to vent there for a second.
Yeah.
No, look, you're talking to 3 people, or
Yeah.
you're talking to 2 other people who've been in that same fucking boat. I don't even give the opportunity of my clients giving me wireframes anymore. Here's a box. Here's a cardboard box. You put all your wishes in that, and I'll pull them out and tell you when you can have them.
Well,
and then here's your wireframe, because I'm sure Ren can attest to this. How many times you get a wireframe from a client, you look at it, and you're just like, are you serious?
I can't tell you the last time I dealt with a wireframe.
Oh,
Someone
okay.
asked me to build a website. I'm like, all right, well, give me
here's
give me your sitemap of what you need.
Oh,
I will give you. Here's your main page. Here's your sub pages, and if there are specialty elements needed within these pages, I'll create that.
Right.
And I create it in such a way that it's like Lego blocks. This can be used here, this can be used here, this can be used here, and that's what you get. And at the end of the day, I don't really give them... The days of me giving people 3 options to choose from are long gone. I give you a design.
Yeah.
Here you go.
That's right.
Do you want to do business with me? Yes or no? If you don't want to do business with me, this is what you gotta... You already gave me a deposit. We'll call it even. Have a nice day.
Yep.
So wait, so when you deal with clients, you don't give them design options? You give
No, I give them a design.
Yeah, none of
Have a
it.
nice day.
them... Okay, so...
Days of giving clients like 3 or 4 options. No.
Really?
Well, you know what? I look at it this way, and I think
3 options, honestly. I'd be like,
3 options. First of all, 3 options is too much because
Yeah.
you give them an either or.
Yeah, you put too much confusion in the brain. I think
At the end of the day, dealing with clients is like playing Would You Rather. Would you rather this or would you rather that?
Yeah. Well, that's...
And that's what you get.
So question, when you provide your design, you provide your design, right? And then you say, what do you think about this? And then you take their feedback.
No, it's your design based on their input. You
No, I go-
basically give them what they want and say, is this what you want? And they go,
No, I don't even say that. I don't, and those words will never come out of my mouth.
You
This
gave
is
me
what
the
I-
information that you requested that needed to be in this quote unquote bucket
Mm-hmm.
or series of buckets.
Yep.
I give you back a design and I go, here is your project.
Yep.
Let me know what you think.
Here's
So
what I'm thinking based on your
Create a mock-up design. You don't actually go and build the website, right?
No, fuck no.
Okay. Thank you. That's what
Do I give them high fidelity? No, I give them a website that is sort of specced out with their color palette that if they really wanted to take my work and go build it with somebody else, they could, but it's not perfect.
Right.
Like, I don't design it perfect on purpose because I'm not looking to screw myself. But at the end of the day, before I do anything, you're paying me 50% up front. So if you want to pay me and then not pay me and then go pay somebody else, you're the one losing. Like, you owe me 50% of the project. You're going to go to somebody else and be like, well, here we go. We have these concepts from a previous designer. And then be like, oh, yeah, no problem, no problem. You give us that, pay us 50% up front. Everybody takes 50% up front. and then we'll nickel and dime you on the back end. I'm saying, here's the cost of the website. You give me 50% up front. I'm going to give you a design. All you need to do is say yes. I pick up the phone and call my developer friend, and I go, here's the website I need you to develop. Give me 2 days to make it spec ready. And he goes, sure, Ren, no problem. I pass the website over via Slack to my buddy Webboy, and he codes the website in a week, and we make money. It's not rocket science.
No, it's not. But what I'm saying is you're designing something up front. You're not saying, hey,
I'm not designing anything up front. I'm getting paid for my time.
right. I'm not saying that you're not getting paid. I'm just saying in terms of the process, not the money. Forget the money for a second. Like, you're designing a website and you're giving it to your client and you're saying, here is what we're going to build, right?
Yeah.
And your client is saying, yes, that is what I want. Then you're taking that and you're giving it to Webboy, and then he's building the site. But you already have buy-in from your client who said
Right.
that's what they wanted.
Right, but in every single one of my contracts that the client signs, that say I'm building a website for $2,000, you're giving me $1,000 up front, and it's a very simple website of 5 to 6 pages with a dynamic parallax, whiz bang, really sharp homepage with some kind of cool, not all the bells and whistle, secondary page. It's generally very basic because, as we know, most people don't drill down more than 2 pages. So if you're going to get a third page, you're getting a third page that's, here's a header graphic and whatever descriptor type you're going to have. Okay, prime example. So you get 3 levels from me. The idea is, this is the time it's going to take. When you reach my hour cap, when I pass it over to him to code it, and you come back to me, and then all of a sudden you want to massage it, you get 2 rounds of edits.
Okay,
You go beyond 2 rounds of edits, now you're paying me per hour.
right.
And my per hour rate is generally, depending on the client, depending on how bougie they are, how much of a pain in the ass they are from the jump, is somewhere between $150 and $200 an hour. You're paying me per hour, let's call it $100 an hour. So if it's a website that should take no more than 20 hours to build, you're paying me $200 an hour on top of the $2,000 you already paid me.
Right.
And when you charge a high price on the back end, it deters the amount of pushback you get because they know they're hitting a wall. And as long as you hold your ground as a business person going, you've hit your cap, now you're paying me. And just to let you know, this is about 6 hours of work for me and another 4 hours for him. Now you're paying me 50% of the website you just paid for me to do these edits.
Right.
So it kind of deters, it speeds projects along because you're deterring them from becoming highly
needy,
obstinate,
What if,
highly needy. Good word, Thump. They're highly needy, but at the same time, if these are people that are that OCD about their shit, they're just going to pay. And they have to pay. It's in a contract. It's a written contract.
yeah, normally I've dealt with this situation. Sometimes I've worked with an agency and they're like, okay, or with a designer or whatever, like, here's what we're going to give you. You get 2 rounds of edits. And then past that point, it's outside of the scope of this project and it's 100, whatever amount per hour. What I normally do is I try and squeeze every edit I have into the 2 rounds. So that
Yeah, but see, you try and squeeze it.
yeah.
Are you playing the client role now, or are you playing the business person role now?
If I'm the client and I know that I'm working with this agency or this designer and I have 2 rounds of edits before you start charging me per hour, what I try to do is I try and get as thorough as I can with my feedback on the first 2 rounds. That way, we don't go into like past the agreed amount of your scope, and we're not paying you per hour.
But the problem is there's some, and I don't know how much freelance work you've actually done, but you get into a vicious cycle with clients where they're like, no, this is the way I want it, and I told you the way I want it, and you're going to fix it, and it's on you.
I want you to tweak that.
And
I've not done that much freelance work. if I'm being
but the okay, so the thing about freelance work is when you get yourself into a business situation like that, it's very much like the old adage of burn me once, I'm the fool, burn me twice. Not going to happen. So what happens is you have these conversations, whether it's over a Slack call or a Zoom call or whatever your call of choice is, and you record these calls and you record them from the jump. That way you're like, so you understand that if this occurs, this is what it's going to cost you. Regardless of the situation, this is what it's going to cost you. You understand the contract you're signing. And of course, they all say yes because they want to get their project rolling because they're behind the 8 ball and they're trying to meet a client deadline. And all of these wonderful things or terrible things are happening and they're waterfalling on them because they don't work agile. So you get the client in a situation that now you're in the driver's seat. You're budgeting them a very fair, honest rate. It's not like you're doing this to gouge them. You're doing it to cover your ass. So when they come back to you and going, you're doing this for free, you're doing this.
Say that to anybody.
You would be very surprised on how many clients will push back and not want to pay for something. It's not like you're dealing with like Fortune 500 or startup companies that have millions of dollars thrown at them. You're dealing with like mom and pop shops, like the deli down the block that just wants a website so they can do online ordering because of the situation we're in now. Like that's the scope. That's the situation. So you're just trying to cover your P's and Q's. So you're treating them fairly, but at the same time, you're covering your ass so they can't treat you unfairly.
Right.
So by doing the recording of all these conversations, because this is how we do business now, and they come back at you and be like, well, you agreed to this, and if you really need me to send you the recording of where you agreed to this, I have no problem doing that. It's kind of like, it feels really dirty doing business that way, but at the same time, it's business, not friendship. You're not screwing a friend. You're just trying to cover your ass and be paid for your time.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. I mean,
You'd be surprised how many people don't see it that way. Well, you come into my shop all the time, and exactly, I give you thousands of dollars a year
of my
alcohol
money
alone, or sandwiches alone, or cigarettes alone, or vape pods alone, or whatever. I'm just using the deli up the block from UWeb as a prime example of like the kind of shit that you could possibly deal with.
Right.
It's business. I give you business. You know, yeah. Freelance work. So
right. I got to work tomorrow. I got to boogie.
Yeah, April Bros Tuesday.
This conversation went a lot longer because I was frustrated about a project that wasn't going the way I wanted.
Hold your ground. My advice to you is hold your ground with them, and unless you signed some really serious contracts, keep pushing back.
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, it's always my way or the highway.
She's the client though. Unless she signed a serious contract where it's going to start incurring her heavy money, keep pushing back.
Like I said, I've been sued over shit like that too. Here you go. You fucking breached contract. No, I didn't. You breached the contract, not me. But
all right, gentlemen and lady, have a good evening.
You too.
April Bros Tuesday. We out. See you next Thursday. Late. I have all that shit right there. We go.